Thanks, Chris Trott, for that really clear counting. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to High Rollers D&D here on High Rollers D&D Twitch, as well as on the Yogscast as well. I'm your Dungeon Master, Mark Sherlock Humes, and we're very glad to be back. We took a little break. We've had some time to chill. We've had time to do some planning, to do some prep, to come up with some cool stuff. And now we're very excited to be back playing D&D for all of you there at home as well. Joining me, as always, are this lovely bunch of people. We have got... fuck's sake, Tom. We have got Rhiannon. Yes. You have a big chin. We have Rhiannon. We have Tom with the big chin. We got Katie. We got Trot. And we got Kim. It's good to be back, friends. It's good to be back. I'm ready to play some D&D. How about you? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We don't play D&D.
Affirmative.
We live it. We live it now.
Affirmative.
That was an yeah, is what it was.
Whoa.
Amazing. Well, we've got a few little things to do. Don't worry about that. We've got a few little, just one real quick thing to go through before we jump into a little recap. I've actually kind of got like a more sort of generalized recap for the campaign, a refresher on some things. And then we're going to come in post time skip, basically. Like we've had, as we'll kind of go into, there's been some time between the last time we played in game and out of game. And we're going to go over what that kind of looked like in a bit. But before then, Chris Trott is going to tell you all about our amazing sponsor, our good friends, D&D Beyond. Isn't that right, Chris Trott?
That is right, Mark Humes. Thank you. D&D Beyond, this might be the last one for a little bit, or it might be a couple more. Who knows? So make the most of the link in the description right now, because August, it's almost over. It's chock full of celebrations in D&D. It's their 4th year anniversary. Did you not know that?
Wow.
They had live events and giveaways and stuff, but... if you subscribe using the D&D Beyond subscription, what are you all doing?
Sorry, it was just a delayed wow from Ree there.
Yeah.
I wanted to join in. Everyone else is
Wow! Can we get the wow?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not only when you're a subscriber do you get access to, you know, the source books, everything like that, the custom D&D Beyond dice, you also get, in August right now, these cool animated frames for your character sheets to customize them. My fucking God. That's great. So please use the link in the description and check out D&D Beyond. Thank you.
Are you done?
Are you done?
Never.
That's copywritten. Please stop that. That is a fucking really popular song that we can't have on
What are you talking about?
stream.
It's from JoJo. It's JoJo.
Yes, Roundabout. A really popular 80s band.
That's a DMCA right there. Well done.
Fine. It's under 5
Cool.
seconds.
Thank
Well,
It's
it's
all
been
right.
nice knowing you guys. Peace.
We're out. We'll see you later.
One thing to note on with the whole D&D Beyond thing, it only really, Trot saying that made me realize that we've been going longer than D&D Beyond has. Because I knew that obviously we didn't start using D&D Beyond until we had the new campaign. But the idea that like D&D Beyond is 4th anniversary, and I'm like, Jesus, we've been doing High Rolls for 5 years now. Like,
Yeah.
what is
Like,
time?
We felt old.
Yeah. It was like a real like, ugh.
7 years, right?
I know, and my hair is
For High Rollers, no. It's 5 years.
No, we've been going 5.
It's not 7.
Wait. No. No. Oh no.
Wait.
Oh,
we
no.
start.
It'll be
Well,
six
yeah. To be
in
fair, they didn't start
January.
D&D Beyond on episode 1 of Aerois, so they were probably
Yeah.
going a little bit before then. Gives them
Yeah,
some time.
that's what I mean.
High
Um,
Rollers Wiki.
6 years next January,
Nice.
January
apparently.
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah. 16.
There you go.
17.
So
Holy crap.
January. It's not quite. But amazing. Well, thank you very much, D&D Beyond. Like Chris Trott said before I trolled the hell out of him, make sure you go and check out that link in chat. Go and subscribe. Go and buy some books. Go and create an account. Like all of those things. If you click our link in the video description or in the chat, and you go and you do any of those things, if you interact with D&D Beyond, it's a massive help for us because it says you came from High Rollers and they can see that in their metrics and they know that we sent you to them. And that's a big help for us. So like literally that's like a small way that you can support us without really having to spend money or, getting something for yourself, something like that. Do that. Cool. That's it for the announcements. Next week, there might be some more stuff to talk about when we come back. But that is going to be it for our little kind of bringing everything back. We are very excited to be here. And I've got a little recap. We're going to play some Dun-Duns, and we're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons. Welcome back to Aerois. Callus Valkyrian, known to most of Aerois as Callus Starbane, the man who slew their goddess Siaska and was banished to astral space, has returned. After a proclamation heard across the world, he has offered any who join him a new life in his grand empire, but made clear his intent to claim the world. The Stormchasers, a band of heroes brought together by chance and united in the protection of a young girl, know that Callus desires a powerful artifact, a Genesis relic called the World Engine at the heart of Aerois. With it, he believes he can finally stop the ultimate evil of the multiverse, Hadar, a being of pure entropy and hunger, a goal Callus has pursued for millennia. However, with a divine gift, the Stormchasers peered into the future and saw that if Callus does as he intends, using the World Engine to try and destroy Hadar, it will only empower the old god at an exponential rate, and the universe will be consumed into pure void. Meanwhile, the goddess Siaska slowly returns to life, reforming in the halls of infinite resplendence. But her titanic children, the gods of Aerois, refuse to let go of their divine power and have hidden themselves away in pocket realms inaccessible to mortals. Siaska's half-daughter, Vala, a demi-goddess, believes she can find and unlock these spaces for our heroes, but it would require time. After saving the Guardian race in the City of Glass, gaining a sturdy army of artisans, soldiers, and scouts, the Stormchasers have spent months engaging in various skirmishes, diplomatic activities, and intrigue, creating magical items and training. But now, one incident has brought them all together once more. There we go.
Hi.
I wanted to make sure that everyone was back. We are going to kick things off. I'd like everyone to roll initiative, please.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
Hey, I haven't had
Excuse
time
me?
to do anything yet.
That's rude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Da-da-da-da. Boom.
I'll explain in a minute. I want to get the initiative rolls in first.
We back.
So we got a 19 for Quill.
20.
Hell
No,
yeah.
sorry. Oh, wait. 20.
No, yes, it was a 19 for Quill.
22.
22
sorry,
for Nova.
I rolled a 19, but it's 22. Shut up.
Sentry.
17.
I can't.
17. Ayla.
Back.
16.
16. Lucius.
9.
Oh, son of a...
9. So, let me just start the encounter and then I'll jump in. Green Hollow is a small town on the southern edge of the continent of Jakesh. Over the last few months, propagandists of the Valkyrian Empire have been slowly infiltrating the town, and reports from a few escapees suggest that the townsfolk are being magically influenced and charmed by the Valkyrians and have asked for aid. The town is on the borders of a great wood that covers most of the continent. And amongst the little stone and wood houses, huge towering ents and treants, accompanied by dozens of humanoid creatures made of wood, are preparing themselves for battle, as dazed-looking citizens are escorted towards a Valkyrian transport craft under the command of several Eladrin warriors. You guys have already fought your way. You've on the Stormchaser has dropped you off, and you have fought your way to the very outskirts of this town, and you have been basically sent to put down this Valkyrian force. And we're going to jump into the action. If you head on over to Roll20, and Chris Trot, if we can, I will bring you over and show off the map. You will see a small town with a lot of enemies and a lot of citizens. And if you zoom out, you'll see that there are 3 points, A, B, and C. As we get into your initiative, I want you to get to tell me which point you want to arrive at, how you're arriving. Think of this as the opening to Avengers Age of Ultron, where we see like all the soldiers fighting, and then each hero comes in and they have their like cool moment, right? And as we'll do that through initiative, pick where you want to arrive, describe how you're arriving into the fight, and then we're going to kick off a fight to kind of brush up everybody's combat skills. Maybe show off some of the new items, some of the new spells and things that you've swapped out. And we're going to basically kick this off the correct way.
Cool.
What are we dealing with here? A is right next to some kind of dropship thing?
Yeah, so there is a Valkyrian. I mean, I did describe this in my descriptive introduction of the encounter, Tom Hazel, but it's fine. There's a Valkyrian dropship. There's like a Valkyrian transport ship, which you can see the citizens of this town. The citizens of this town are all humanoids, so they're humans, halflings, gnomes, a couple of dwarves, maybe some half-elves. They all have these kind of woodland tattoos, but they are being loaded up into this transport or being escorted towards it. You can see that all of them definitely seem to be some sort of entranced effect. They're very emotional. You can see them kind of, not quite of right mind. They are being escorted by these kind of wooded, tree-like humanoids, almost like creatures made out of vines and twigs. There are these giant trees, which are like 19 foot tall. They're huge creatures that are basically standing as watchful guardians. And you also know that there are 4 Eladrin warriors here as well. And Nova Vija, you're the first on the scene. You tell me why that is, what it looks like, and everything else. I also actually need to... Hang on, I forgot to do the enemy's initiatives.
Oh.
That's fine, I can just do this now.
Before I go murdering again,
yes.
just to clarify on the map, so we've got tokens of little tree dudes, and then other tokens of the little humanoid. Are they civilians?
They're the citizens. Yeah, the civilians. Yeah.
Okay, so don't kill those. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, ideally don't kill those. You have a think while I'm doing this initiative.
There's quite a few scattered around.
I did your initiatives, and then I forgot I have to click a button to do it on...
I need to do mine.
I mean, in the eyes of Hadar, which you're Hadar touched by, all life really should be destroyed, right?
Yes.
Mine?
Yes.
Correct.
Nova.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
Nadar.
I thought we were going to talk about what we were doing in the break, like, afterwards.
Not yet.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
spoil that.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry about that.
You've just kind of ruined
Nova's
that.
been getting hungry.
Just a little bit, yeah. Nova spent her break eating. Eating souls.
So there you go. Okay, so Nova, you've got 3 points to land at ABC. You can see that civilians are being sort of like, not quite like forcibly marched, like they're not under duress, but they definitely don't seem like they're quite of their right mind. Like they look confused, a bit dazed, but they're being kind of gently led, like they're being protected. You almost get the sense that these guys are kind of being escorted under the false pretense of protection by these creatures.
Okay, I would like to. So, I'm panicking again, and that can only mean one thing. At point B,
No.
Yep.
a kind of tear in the air is going to appear. A circular, tall tear is going to appear in the air, as if a sword has sliced through it, and it's glowing blue. And I am going to step through it. Is this part of like the initiative? Because I'm going to have to count that as all my action if you want us to. Like,
No. Just let's have like you basically arrive and then you take your turn.
Yeah. Okay. So,
but you do mark
thematically,
off that
that's gonna
dimension
be-
door.
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's the dimension door.
Yeah,
So
but
Nova's
now
gonna
take your
step
turn
out,
basically now.
and peer around the corner, and it's going to be a maddening darkness that descends upon the big boy treant and all the little smaller treants around it. What?
Very good. Very good.
Why are you
I'm just
looking
going
at
to
me like
check
that,
and make sure
Thomas?
I've got
That's the
my-
war crime spell.
It is the war crime spell.
No, it's just a spell. It's like a...
So, remind
There's no
me,
civilians
what
there,
is
right?
the size of Maddening Darkness?
60-foot sphere. 60-foot radius sphere.
Okay.
These are 5 foot on the. Cool.
Big sphere.
Yeah, I'm going to move this to...
Oh, that's a big boy.
well, I'm not even sure if
that
this is
red-
60 foot yet.
That red
this
circle
is-
isn't a civilian, is it?
15.
No,
Oh,
he
is
looks
it about-
naughty. He looks
So
naughty.
you said 60 foot, right? 60 foot radius?
Radius.
Holy crap.
I mean, 60 foot
Nowhere-
radius is enormous.
That's.
I mean, you got the entire ship before with that. it's
I
it's
think-
big.
Look, no.
It's like 60 foot half.
This is the
it's like
whole
six-
square. This is the whole square, basically.
Yeah, as a note, Nova, this.
Oh,
this-
cool. So I'm gonna
Like,
cast
that's
Maddening
huge.
Darkness on the entire thing.
Yeah, I mean, you could cover this
No.
entire village in it, basically.
No.
If you don't want to
No.
catch any civilians, that is as far as you can get it. Like, knowing the range of the spell and everything else, you can. Otherwise, you're going to be hitting civilians with this thing, and you know
I
how
will arc it
awful
in
this
such a
experience
way
is.
That it doesn't. Does she? That it doesn't hit any civilians.
Sure. Cool. A number of the you can see that engulfed in the darkness. You will also need line of sight, which means you have to move to at least
Yeah.
here.
If you move me.
You see the giant tree and several of these, vine-like creatures completely engulfed by this darkness. At least one of the Eladrin is as well. There is one who's just on the cusp of it. The way that you had to angle it means that they are just on the edge. They turn around, see the darkness, look at you, and they're, bright sort of they're wearing like red clothes, but all of their like hair is almost like flowers and vines and plants, and it looks like it's in full summer's bloom. You can see trails of flame along their longsword as they turn, and you just see them maniacally grin. The Stormchasers are here! Good, a chance to prove my mettle! And they crawl out. Does the effect of Maddening Darkness happen on your turn, or is this at the end of their sort of turn?
Whenever a creature starts its turn in the sphere.
Starts their turn. Okay. Anything else you would
but
like
they-
to do
they
on
can't
your
stay in
turn,
it.
Nova?
No, they can't see anything while they're in there.
Just to prove my met, where are they?
Oh, this guy doesn't care about this Summer Eladrin is not too fussed about the actual people he's under command of. He just wants to fight.
Okay. Can I... Screw it, why not? I'm gonna bonus action. Yeah, okay. So, bonus action. So she's just... Imagine the Doctor Strange portal. She's just come out of that, committed a war crime, and then she's gonna grip a bracelet. She's now got a bracelet on her wrist that has a little pendant on it that looks like a royal crest. She's gonna grip that, whisper some words into it, and misty step 30 foot onto the top of a building.
Sure,
nearest
move yourself where you'd like to go. Yeah, you guys see, though, obviously the rest of the party don't see this, but we see sort of as Nova disappears, there's almost this kind of forest scene. Like, we see leaves fall to the ground. There is the kind of smell of flowers and trees as she appears on the thing. The Summer Eladrin just goes like, "Ha! I know that trick. Are you running away from me, Stormchaser, mighty hero of Aerois?" And he's just kind of gesturing like, "Come at me, bro." At you.
Just a tactical advantage.
Nice. Is that the end of your turn, Nova?
That is the end of my turn.
Cool. At the start of the all of the little plant humanoid creatures, we don't see this, but inside the mutated darkness, there's no screams for these guys, but we just forms just basically break apart.
Okay.
They just as they're ripped apart by the maddening darkness. Several of the others, upon hearing a cry, will begin to... One of them is going to clamber up onto this roof and then make their way over to you, Nova, but they're not going to go... So it's going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, they're going to be able to get to you as it kind of scrambles up onto the roof. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So it's going to basically be crawling up the wall. This one's going to kind of start doing the same. And these things just like mindless. Not quite like zombies, but they just begin scrambling up. These three are going to start yanking the humans along with them. And they're going to start pulling them down this way. So three of them sort of further to the south just grip the forearms, the wrists of a bunch of humans and start dragging them away from this appeared hero. These guys are all just going to kind of group up. Do the same thing. They're just going to kind of reposition themselves. Cool. No, just one attack from this one remaining little fella. I need to... Where's my dice? Oh, I don't have my own dice. I will have to just roll this myself. I'm sorry. So that's going to be a 19 to hit Nova.
Exactly, yes.
Cool. And then this is going to be... So this thing, it gets up to you and it's going to do 12 points of slashing damage as its claws, like these kind of sharpened wood-like claws. So even though this thing looks very brittle, when it hits you, there's this kind of supernatural force behind it and it tears through, trying to like get past your defenses, and you can take 12 points of damage.
Okay.
Next up, though, flying... I'm going to assume a flying in.
Check.
Oh, yes, please.
100%.
Yeah. Quill, we have Quill, Sentry, and Ayla. So Quill's going to land first, but the three of you, I don't know if you want to kind of emerge as a group, kind of arriving all together, or if you want to do your own separate things. But yeah, the three of you are going to go next, starting with Quill. So which point would you like to arrive at, and what would you like to do when you get there?
I would like to fly in from A, and I want to land on top of this drop ship. And within 30 feet of as many civilians as I can, I want to get rid of this magical effect on them.
Okay,
possible.
how are you going to do that?
With my boy, Mass Cure Wounds is how.
Okay.
So, yeah, Mass Cure Wounds on 5 civilians. 6 civilians, actually.
We'll say the closest 5, basically.
Yeah, six civilians. I mean, if they get healed, they get healed for...
Yeah,
13.
none of them are injured. None of them are injured. They don't look like they've been mistreated or anything like that. They're just dazed and confused. But as you kind of... you spread your wings and all this kind of magical energy emerges from you, right? Like the golden feathers of Hesper and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then I spell break with the healing.
Yeah. So you watch as like the 6 of them do sort of blink their eyes and they kind of like look around and they look confused and scared. These kind of gross plant monsters, they kind of like back away from, like they're seeing them for the first time. And nearby, you see one of these Eladrin, all green, the flowers blooming, but yet still young, and she looks quite young and petite. She looks around, is like, no, don't listen to him. He's cast some sort of spell upon you. We're here to help you. And you can see her trying to calm them down, sort of like, we're your friends. We've been here for so long. We've helped you. We've given you everything you dream of. And they're kind of like looking around like, I don't know. I'm so confused. And like they're looking around, very, very bizarre. The others that you couldn't reach with the spell definitely still, yes, madam, you're right. We need to leave now.
Yeah, but just look up and you'll see a glowing radiant bird. Who do you want to follow? Glowing radiant bird who just landed really cool.
The 6 who you spell broke definitely are like edging away from these forces. Like they don't know what's going on and they seem very confused.
And that's pretty much, yeah, that's my entire turn pretty much with the spell and my movement of getting in on this thing.
Sure.
And yeah, I'll just tell everyone else I need to get rid of the guards so they can escape.
Okay. All right. Well, Sentry and Ayla, you guys are up next. Sentry first. Which point would you like to arrive in?
Okay. So Sentry's going to arrive on Alnisix. So she's going to swoop down on her giant Periton mount and land at point A near the dropship.
Like a token for them.
Yes, please.
Sure. Because you can control them. So just keep in mind that if you would like them to take their turn, I'm just going to make them. Normally they're not large, but I'm going to make him large. If you would like them to take a turn, just do it after your turn, basically.
Oh.
So there is them. And then here's Sentry.
I mean, I just got the ability to fly, and then Alnisix comes along, and it's so cool.
Thank you.
And it's so
Yeah,
cool.
so like flying in on the
Yeah.
mount, you can pretty much get to where I placed you. Like that's where you
Nice.
start, and then you have your movement from there, basically.
Awesome. The Sentry's going to jump off Alnisix, and then bonus action, raise her new lance Starbreaker aloft and call its name.
Please do.
So she will, raise the lance in the air and say, "Starbreaker, form for me." And then
And you see this kind of Sentry's been wielding this long metal lance, which is designed that it can be used on foot. It doesn't look like it has to be used mounted, and it has this kind of like engraved spiral all along the edge of the lance that is glowing green. And when she calls its name and holds it aloft, that light explodes outwards, and the lance seems to almost triple in size, creating this enormous green energy lance around it.
Don't get the treasure, you said.
and I'll point at the Aladrins and just say, "Let them go," and then that'll be my action. And then
Okay.
For Alnisic's action, I will command them to try and get the villagers to safety, the ones that Quill has helped.
Sure. Can you make a persuasion check for me? Because these villagers look up, they look confused, they don't know what's going on, and then this giant metal periton is like, oh! flies down, and they're like, whoa, what is that?
Sure thing. Here it comes. Ooh, 21.
Oh.
21, yeah. They kind of are like, we don't know what's going on, but we shouldn't go with them. And like they begin like clawing, like gripping onto like his legs and stuff like that. And yeah, like they're gonna, at least 2 of them can, I'd say 3 of them can maybe get on. As they try and run past, a couple of these vine creatures are gonna try and grab them, just to try and stop them. Annoyingly, I can't seem to just roll dice on D&D Beyond at the moment, so I think it's because my window's too small, so I'm just going to do it off camera.
This guy with his tiny window.
Yeah, tiny window. One of the vine creatures does manage to grab this last human. They sort of grab them and grapple them rather than attack them. But the other 2 kind of clamber up onto the periton and are now sort of like looking around. Do you want them to like fly off, or?
Yeah, I just want Alnisix to get them to safety and out of the way, so maybe up on one of the one of the roofs of the house or something, just out of the way.
Well, I think like with their movement, if the periton dashes, we can basically get them off the table, basically, and then
Nice.
you can have the periton come back next turn, but it will just be like tricks like that. So we'll just move them down to the side for now. But yeah,
Nice.
we see that. So like you land, you summon the giant green energy lance. The periton swoops in, and you kind of help encourage the civilians to get on board as it gets swept away. And while that's happening, Ayla, you're going to land. Where would you like to arrive, and what would you like to do?
I think I'll walk in from literally saunter, walk in to point A, behind where Quill and Sentry have just flown in. Ayla's just going to
Sure.
stroll in, look at the Eladrin that tried to say, "Oh no, stay with us," and she's
Mhm.
just going to crack her neck, look at her, and go, "Oh, it's okay. I'll be your friend." And
Yeah,
she
there's
will
definitely a
bonus
look of
action-
worry.
Bonus action rage, and she is just gonna go at her and smack her a couple of times, please.
Okay, yeah, so you're just
What
gonna
friends
so
do.
on the
what
map
friends
you can
do.
kind of skirt around one of these vine creatures which is now behind you, but yeah, you get right up in this Eladrin's face. You can see that none of the Eladrin you've seen so far look like you've met an Eladrin before. It doesn't bear any resemblance, like it's not the same Eladrin. You don't see Shansara, but they are all very similar. Kind of this one has pale green skin with kind of like flowery hair, dressed in like greens and yellows. Spring Eladrin. And yeah, you get up close.
31 to hit.
31 will indeed hit. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, let me deal with my new damage because I have to work this out. So I have extra now.
You have an
So
extra
D10
D6 now.
plus my extra D6. So with my upgrades, so 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 on the hit. And
21. All right. 21
with
points
the
of damage.
extra D6, it's 2 on the D6. And
two.
then I will hit again,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to be a 22 to hit.
22 will hit. The Eladrin is definitely a seasoned warrior. Like that 22, it hits, but this creature nearly blocks it. Like
Sure.
they nearly get out of the way and stuff like that. Like you can see they draw like what appears to be like a thin rapier and they try and parry it away, but the force of the blow is too much.
22 with the hammer, and then 5 points of lightning damage.
All right, so 27 total.
And then Dex save.
All right, this creature I can just use D&D Beyond. So a Dex saving throw, yes?
Yes, please.
That's a 7.
That's a fail.
That's a
So
fail.
they will also take 16
16 points of lightning damage.
damage.
So in 3 blows, you can see that you have bloodied this Eladrin. You can see silver, no, I'd say like amber, like blood, like sap almost, like this amber colored blood is like pouring out of like their nose and like the side of their mouth where they've been smacked around, and they are defending themselves. And she looks horrified, like she looks at you just like, you brute, as you kind of smack her around. But yeah, everything
I'm not
on
the
your
one
turn done?
carrying people into a carrier, Mrs.
Okay. Well, before Lucius gets a chance to go, unfortunately, some of these enemies are going to get to go. The big tree, and we'll start with the one in the Hungering Darkness. What kind of save do I have to make on this, Nova?
Wisdom
Okay.
18.
Wisdom 18. 16, so close, but not enough.
I didn't get all my d8s out, so I'm just gonna roll it on Digidice.
Sure.
That is
you can do it on D&D
36
Beyond.
points. Of
36
Damagios.
points. What type of damage is this? Necrotic.
It is brain. What?
Brain
is
damage.
It's gotta be
Psychic.
necrotic, isn't it?
Brain-
I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm pretty sure it's
That
necrotic.
is it.
Psychic damage.
Psychic damage.
Oh, it is psychic damage. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it takes the full amount. You hear like this kind of mournful creaking of wood. It's not like a voice. It's like this kind of like noise from inside the darkness. But it does have the sense enough to be able to get free. It basically it's going to go 5, 10,
Can you see where it's
Fif-
going though?
15. It can, yeah. 20, 25, 30. So it kind of stumbles out into the street like it's going to look around. And does this thing have reach? It does, but not enough. It's going to scoop down, and part of this like stone wall at its feet, it just breaks a chunk of it off, and it looks around for the one in blue that it saw earlier before the darkness came, and it looks at you, and it just throws this giant rock at you. No.
Fair. That's
That is a
very fair.
23 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit me.
Yeah. So, and then you're going to take 33 bludgeoning damage as you have to like dive and like it smashes into the house, leaving this giant hole. You're sprayed with like splinters of wood, and yeah, you kind of like stumble to the side. So the DC on concentration would be 16 for that one.
Oh, I rolled a 15. It's down.
Oh, bam, bum, bum, bum.
Take it down.
I'm hoping I don't want to delete the entire map. So, okay, so the darkness vanishes, but you can see that this tree is definitely, pained by what it experienced. But yeah, it just lobs this giant rock at you. This
fair.
giant tree is going to come stomping 10, 15, and it is going to. It sings like this mournful song. It's just like. And you see the trees to the side of the ship near Sentry and Quill begin pulling themselves from their roots, like its branches seem to animate and its leaves flutter as another treant emerges from the tree that was there. As it does so, I've got to add another treant 3 to the initiative. And they'll go at the very end. But that's its whole turn. That's its action. Is once per day it can animate trees into becoming another.
Can they all do that, or is it an Eladrin that did that?
No, that was the treant. That was the treant itself. It animated a fellow tree. As it
Can
did
they
so.
all do that? And just
Well, maybe
keep doing
we'll find out. We'll
Make
find
a
out, won't we?
forest?
We'll find out. There is a blue-skinned Eladrin near the sort of like far end that had been mustering some of these other the civilians, and they're going to kind of look around and see Ayla and say, yes, the barbarian one. We've been warned about her. Get away, Silvari. Get away, Silva. And they are going to... Ooh, that looks fun. But they don't want to harm any of those guys. Yeah, they're going to save that for now. They are just going to basically move around. The treant is kind of in the way. So I think that they're just going to draw a little bit closer. And then they are going to summon an ice storm on Sentry and Quill. 20-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder. So how high up were you, Quill?
I'm on.
You landed, didn't you? Yeah, you landed.
On the land, yeah. On the lander carrier
Quill.
ship thing.
So it's going to be 10.
I'm 10 feet away from you, aren't I?
10 feet?
I guess I'm above you
Oh,
as
you're
well.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. It's a pillar of ice. Probably going to hit me anyway, even if I was up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is going to hit the treant as well. But I need you both, Sentry and Quill, to make dexterity saving throws.
Okie dokie. 17.
A 10.
17. All right, Quill, you're going to take half damage. Sentry, you're going to take full damage from this. And this is 2d8 bludgeoning damage and 46 cold damage. I'm going to have to roll this manually. So 2d8, that was the bludgeoning, so 12. So 6 to Quill, 12 to Sentry, and then 46 cold. 14 to Sentry and 7 to Quill. And then I'll just do that to the treant number 3 as well. How much HP do they have? Okay, I'll just count up. So that's going to be 26.
Would this still be halved with my ability?
This is a spell, so yes. So
Cool.
you would get half of that. Nobody else, unfortunately, but
Okie 6 and
nice.
7.
And then they just kind of prepare themselves. The spring Eladrin, who is right next to Ayla, is just going to kind of like look shocked and terribly offended that you've come up and punched her in the face. And she, very much like Nova, is going to disappear in a flurry of flowers. And she's going to go 5, 10, 15, 30. She appears on a nearby roof. She's going to teleport away, so no attack of opportunity, I'm afraid. And then she's going to look down. Oh, you brute! Perhaps you should find some joy in things. And she's going to point at you, Ayla, and she casts a spell. Yeah, you're still within 30-foot range. And you begin dancing. Ayla's little feet just begin sort of like starting off as like a little tap of the feet. And then you just can't, your feet just begin like moving and dancing. And you are, you are currently dancing away. You have to use all of its movement to dance. There is no save on this spell. This is a particular spell. You don't take any damage, but a dancing creature must use all of its movement to dance without leaving its space. You have disadvantage on dexterity saving throws and attack rolls. Other creatures have advantage to attack you. As an action, a dancing creature can make a wisdom save to regain control of themselves. That's on your turn, though, as an action. So you're just like, and you like, she can hear like this little Eladrin kind of singing a song. It is, I will say, it is a concentration spell. So your friends would know that if they want to break you free of that, it might be a good idea to break you free. And then finally, we have one last Eladrin, the Autumn Eladrin, who is going to see that this poor big tree took a nasty hit from that mean old Ganas. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And she's going to lay her hands upon it, and she's going to cast Cure Wounds at 5th level and heal the nice tree.
It's a 5th level Cure Wounds.
Just a 5th level Cure Wounds. No big deal.
5th level.
So that's going to heal for 20, what was that? 28 hit points. And she just places it, and you can see like it kind of lets out this soothing noise as she kind of is like, there. She touches its like barky leg. But after all of this madness, Lucius, where would you like to arrive, and what would you like to do?
Lucius will arrive at the final path C, running in, out of breath. Oh, there you all are. This is where it is.
Yeah. Okay, so you got lost on the way.
Yeah. And there'll be a close-up shot of his prismatic gauntlet. He's going to crack his knuckles. You see the whole thing is charged with various energies. It seems fully stocked, locked and loaded. And he's going to be like, who are the worst ones? And he sees Ayla dancing and the autumn, not the autumn one, but one of the Eladrin on the roof.
Yeah,
like pointing at
the spring Eladrin. Yep.
Right, and he's going to cast Twinning It, Chromatic Orb, Acid, at this Eladrin, the blue one.
The winter, yep, and the spring.
That one up there.
What level are you casting at?
5th.
Okay, go for it. So, attack rolls.
Right, first one.
I will, yep.
Is a 15 to hit. I only rolled a 5.
Okay. Do you want to do the second one, and then I'll tell you whether they hit? Yeah, it does miss. That is going to miss. So you can spend a sorcery point to re-roll it.
That's right, new meta magics. All right.
I think you had Seeking anyway.
Nope.
Oh.
That is 16.
16.
I have to take this roll for that one.
You have to take this one. So that one, that will be against the... Which one do you want that to be against? The spring or the
one on the roof, I assume I would be like...
All right,
trying to hit that one first.
So that one misses. She kind of very gracefully, almost like pirouettes and dances out of the way as this shrieking ball of acid goes flying past. But the second one, against the Winter Eladrin.
16?
Would you like to Seeking spell that one?
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what? I will. All right, 20.
That hits. Yes.
Oh my God. All right, so there's 78 of acid damage. Here we go. That is 29 points of acid damage.
Couple of ones in there.
There's a couple one, 31 then.
31 points of acid damage.
Yeah, and
you see this like this wintry woman is just like she's sprayed with acid from this orb as it collides into her.
So he's gonna use his dichromancy. He's got 10 damage base. Because it's a 5th level spell, he's going to use some charges in his gauntlet and fire it at the one on the roof.
Do you have the range? Because the dichromancy I think is only 30 foot.
Yeah, I'll do it on the one at the bottom then.
The winter one, yeah.
So I'm going to use a couple of charges. So an extra 2d6 on top.
Okay.
Of 10.
So how much total?
So that's 6 plus 10, 16 points of acid
16
on top.
Points. More acid damage. Yeah, like again, this another streak of orange kind of like sprays into her. And you can see that she's injured, but not bloodied or anything like that. And definitely kind of whips. She turns her attention now fully on you, the sorcerer. Meanwhile, up at the top, Nova, the summer Eladrin is just like looks up, sees you get nailed by this rock, says, "Well, you seem to have things in hand, my dear. A fitting price for your cowardice. I'm off to find a more worthy opponent." And he is going to go running towards the bit of fight. He's going to go, 1, 2, 95. And then he's going to dash, 5, 10. And he's going to arrive on the outskirts of this ice storm. And he's going to look, and he's just like, "You! The Guardian and the Barbarian woman. Fight me! Fight me! I wish a worthy challenge."
Shut up!
He's quite cute, to be honest. Like, A+ for effort, man. A+ for enthusiasm.
And I think that ice storm, by the way, goes away. I don't need to leave that there, so I'm just gonna whoop. Please don't delete the entire map. Oh, you are. I might have to leave that there. Yep. Never mind. I'll do that later. The Treant is going to basically move up, and it's going to make 2 slam attacks against Sentry and Quill. So 1 against Sentry, 1 against Quill. Sentry.
Nope.
25.
Yeah.
That's a whacking. 20 points of bludgeoning damage from the first whack. And then Quill. 27 to hit.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
For 19 points of bludgeoning damage. Bam.
Oh.
Bam, bam.
But he destroys the ship, right?
Yeah, well, he dents this like ship as he like slams on top of it, and you can see the ice has like encrusted the back of this transport. It's definitely taken some damage. A couple of these humans, the villagers, are going to kind of turn around, not quite sure what's going on. They're just going to try and run, and the ones that aren't ensorcelled are going to just basically try and leg it. And at this point, I think that the other creatures aren't quite sure what to do. Let's have them try and grab, use their reactions. Nope, that's a miss. That's a miss as well. So 2 more get away, and then this one is also kind of trapped a little bit. He's going to make a break for it, try and squeeze past this. The Treant won't take an attack of opportunity, but the Vine Blight creature will, and also fails. And so 3 more of these humans basically run away, and they manage to kind of either flee through the back door, or they begin running away from the fight. The ones that Quill had managed to kind of purge of the charm effect that seems to be over them. The rest of them, however, just kind of do as they're told, and they begin continuing making their way towards the ship, basically. Some of them not quite able to get very far. They're kind of walking at a slower pace. A couple of them start boarding it, and that's it. Nova.
I am.
You got a lot of Gribblies around you.
It's fine. I'm gonna move slightly back, not getting out of the area.
Kind of circling around this creature on the roof with you.
Yeah, and then I would like to cast Synaptic Static, bang on the middle of where that Treant is, and it's a 20-foot radius, so it will hit the guy on the roof, and not that one, but the healing Eladrin, and the Treant, and 3 of the squishy wishies.
And they have to have a certain intelligence. If they have a certain lower intelligence, they're not affected.
Yeah.
What is that?
2 or
What's
lower.
the number? All right, they are all affected. The wood creatures, their heads explode. Their wooden faces just pop. Because even if they pass the save, the half damage will kill them. They're just like.
Okay.
The Treant, however, is a bit tougher than that. And we'll get a saving throw.
18
It fails, so it's taking full damage. And then the Eladrin as well.
Oh my god.
And this is a magic spell, so they have advantage. Yeah, they're going to pass because they got 20. So half damage to the Eladrin, but full damage to the Treant.
5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 points of psychic damage. And
so
anyone who
13 to the
failed
Eladrin.
is muddled.
Ooh, what does that mean?
So if you, during that time, it rolls a d6 and subtracts the number from its attack rolls and ability checks, as well as constitution saving throws to maintain concentration. You can make an intelligence saving throw at the end of each of your turn to end the effect.
Okay,
So it
nice.
was the Treant, wasn't it?
Just the Treant who failed, yeah. So the Treant A is currently affected. I'll do like a little mite. icon. What's a good one?
Well,
let's do this.
Once that happens, after everything explodes and the body just rolls off the roof, can I just like wave at everyone and be like, "Hey guys, I'm here! I can see you! Hi!" Just waving at the party.
Nice. You
Lucius definitely waves back.
Yeah, it's kind of distant because like Nova's at the other end of the village on top of these buildings, which are kind of all blocking the line of sight. But you definitely hear Nova like, "Hey, I could see you."
On a retcon, and that's why I miss shooting the chromatic orb
You're
up on the
waving.
roof.
Hey, Lucius!
All right. These little twig blight boys, a bunch of them are going to surge around Ayla, just kind of come running. Two of them are going to run towards Lucius. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. This one's just going to dash to get next to you, but it won't get to attack. Ayla, a bunch of them are going to come scrambling up another roof. They're going to come scrambling up across the rooftops. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. They'll dash to basically get to here.
That's a lot of twig blights.
Yeah, they come running, and then Quill, they're going to do the same thing where they start clambering up on top of the transport to try and get to you. This one's going to dash, but he's not going to get there in time. So we're going to have a few attacks of these boys. Lucius, it's going to be 2 attacks against you, 18 to hit and 18 to hit.
Yes.
Okay, so the first one is going to be 13 points of damage.
Okay.
And remember, you can use your reaction to do the damage reduction as well if you want. And then the next one's going to be 8 points of damage.
Okay, I'll just take those.
All right. So these things are like, slamming into you. They do look brittle and weak, but they seem to, pack an unnatural punch. We'll do Quill because I've got advantage against Ayla. So Quill, this is going to be 4 attacks against you. That's going to be 17.
Yep.
11. That's a miss.
Nope.
Miss. So only 1 hits you.
Cool.
For 5 points of damage. 6 points of damage, sorry.
Amazing.
And then poor old Ayla has got 1, 2, 3, 4, all with advantage. Miss on the first one. Miss on the second one. Third one is a 20.
Just.
And then the fourth one is a 20 as well. So 2 of them hit you. First one is going to be 15, halved to 7. Second one is going to be 10, halved to 5.
Oh no, they took me under 200 HP.
Oh, they took you under. So you're being surrounded by these things. And like, because I imagine Ayla's not like dancing, like Ayla's like moshing. Like you're just kind of like stomping your feet and like throwing your arms around. So even though these things are trying to hit you, sometimes you're just like knocking them out of the way and stopping them from actually landing a blow on you as they do so. Keelik Adkalar.
Cool. I want to, with my bonus action, I want to send out Elder Quill to the other side of this tree.
So we summon, we see you hold the spear, and this kind of older looking Quill dressed in priestly robes, graying feathers, kind of projects forward like this ghostly form.
And then I want him to start glowing something fierce because I'm going to use him to concentrate on Summon Celestial.
Oh my God,
I want him
why have you done this to me?
Become the Celestial.
Okay, sure.
In Avenger form, so he has a bow.
Okay.
He goes.
Oh, this is the one where you have the stats for it, isn't it?
I have the stats for it, yeah. So
cool, and it goes at the end of your turn. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it goes at the end of my turn. However, I want to use it to be able to get away from this Ent. So can I hold like movement for something I want him to do?
I don't think so. I think he basically has to just take your turn. I can't remember how the spell works. Normally the spell says if he has to use like an action or something like that.
It says he goes after me, but I kind of want him to to distract this Ent so I can get away without him hitting me instead, if you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, the other creature couldn't really stop that because it's all about your action and if you disengage. I don't know how he would help you get away from this thing.
He would take the opportunity attack.
Right, I see. Okay. Well, yeah,
That's
you can't really
plan.
do that because you got to wait, unfortunately. So you'd have to
Fine.
have him move after you. So you'd have to stay
That's
where you
cool.
are.
Well, either way, I'm going to fly up anyway.
Okay.
It does
How
mean I'm
high?
going to get opportunity attacks from like all of these things. But I'm going to
These
go.
little boys.
Yeah, I'm just going to go like 30 feet up from where I currently
Sure.
am. I'm assuming that's
Right,
out of range of this tree.
It definitely will be if you get 30 feet up in the air for sure. All of these little boys and the big boy will get an opportunity attack at you.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Let's do
I will
let's do
cast
little
Summon
boys.
Celestial after these hits.
One little boy hits. 2 little boys hit. 3 little boys hit. So that's going to be, I'll do each one individually. That's going to be 6 points of damage, 7 points of damage,
Yep.
18 points of damage. I rolled max on that
18?
last one.
Oh my god, okay.
Yeah.
That one hit hard.
2d8 plus 2. So as you're flying up, these little twig creatures are just like, and they're like grabbing at you and pulling your feathers and like raking your legs as they do that. And then the big boy is going to take a swing. Big tree branch. That's going to be a 15 to hit.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Why did you do
Whack!
this again?
I need to
Another
get away
14
from all
points of
these
damage.
Now I'm away from them, so they're not going to do that again. But now I summon Celestial in Avenger
Right,
form with a
okay,
bow.
Sure.
And now he will take his turn, and I want him to shoot twice at the tree. So he's got multi-attack, which is cool. I don't know why I actually roll to attack here.
It's your spell attack bonus normally. So it's your spell attack bonus, and then he has his own damage, which is normally a dice plus ability plus the level of the spell.
Okay, well, 2 attacks with a plus 13 on both is 8 plus 13, 21, and
That
a
hits.
million after that, 32.
Both hit.
And he does 2d6 plus 2 plus the spell's level. So I'll do 4d6
Okay.
plus 4, so 19 plus the spell level, which was 5. So 29 damage. I think I've mathed that right.
Sure. Hang on, give me a second. I'm just dealing with some stuff. So, sorry, first attack was how much damage?
Something. It was 31 total.
31 total. That's fine. That's all I need is just the total. So, yeah, like this kind of golden radiant angel quill fires these arrows at the tree, and it definitely kind of like, reacts to being struck and staggers back.
Cool. And that's my turn. That's my entire turn.
All right, nice. Sentry.
Sentry's going to make 2 attacks, one against the Eladrin and the other against the tree guy with Starbreaker.
Okay, yeah, you have reach, so you don't even need to move to hit the Summer Eladrin.
Yeah.
And then the tree behind you, the one that just attacked Quill, is that the one you're going to go
Yeah.
for?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
summoned one. Sure.
Nice. Here we go for the first one. 23. I'm going to go for the tree first. So we'll do that.
Okay, that definitely hits the treant. Yep.
Nice. Now I'll use my Starbreaker. So, if I'm reading this correct, Starbreaker has 2d12 damage now?
When it's transformed, yes.
Cool. And I can also use Divine Smite?
You can. Yep.
Cool. Okay. I'd like to do a level 4 Divine Smite, please.
Yep.
Cool.
There is a
So-
downside to using this transformed lance, which Sentry
Yeah.
will find out after the battle, basically.
Eh.
It's very draining.
Done.
Using this way, you can feel that as this lance is transformed, it's like sapping your own energy. Like you're
Yeah.
physically fueling this thing. So cool. Well, give me that
68
big old
and-
damage.
68 and 2d12. Here we go.
And then don't forget your modifier on top as well.
+7, so that'll be 46.
46 points of
Chill
damage.
out a little bit, Ree.
Nah.
So, also, this is the first time, Ree, like, obviously, you've used Starbreaker since you found it in these, 2 months or so. But everybody else, and Quill probably for the first time, when this lance hits the tree, it doesn't just kind of, dig in and pierce and, rip apart. It's actually creating, force damage. It's actually using, magical damage. And it drills, it basically, punches a hole through the tree and it goes all the way through. So where she strikes it, it explodes at the back of the tree, and it leaves this gaping hole about the size of like a small creature through the big treant thing, and it's just like explodes outwards.
I knew we should get the treasure.
Second attack,
so
Sentry.
smug forever
Yeah.
now.
I'm gonna
Hell
turn
yeah.
around.
It would have been a
Is that
different
what you-
story if you'd got this at level 1.
Well, yeah.
21 to hit the Eladrin.
21. Now, this is the Summer Eladrin, I believe. Yes, he is going to. So he can use a reaction called Parry, where he adds 3 to his AC against one melee attack that would hit him, which boosts his AC to 22. So as this
nice.
lance, he sees it coming. He's like, a challenge. And he manages to like deflect it and leap to the side. But it's close. Like, it kind of scratches his cheek, and you see this kind of like golden blood spilling down. And he's just like, you will make a fine challenge for me.
Oh, careful what you wish for.
Nice. You done, Sentry?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
Then Alnisix, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I'll do next. So
What
can
would you like Alnisix to do?
Alnisix ferry? There's the group of 2 in between the 2 houses in the middle. Can
Yeah,
Alnisix
these guys
try and-
aren't. Yeah, he can. But you will need to grapple them. These guys are not willing. They are still entranced. So as the Periton flies down, I can never pronounce his name. I'm just going to call him Al. As Al flies down, he's going to have to grapple them because they're like trying to like defend themselves and stuff.
Okay.
So if you have the stats for a Periton, just make a strength check for me.
Cool beans.
Well,
Let's see.
I'll
Plus
just do
3
one
to
for both of them.
strength.
I'll just
Got
do one
it.
for both of them. He's going to get them.
Okie dokie. Meow, meow, meow. Here I go. 17.
Yeah, it snatches both of these humans up in Al's claws, and he can basically start ferrying them away. I'll have him fly over this way to
Good
try and
job,
take them
Al.
to safety. Yeah, he just swoops down, grabs them up, and then woo, flies off. Cool. Everything done on Al's turn?
That's all good, yeah? Al's all done?
All right.
I'm all done.
Ayla, your turn. So you have to basically spend your movement to stay where you are. You only have disadvantage on dexterity. You can still melee attack anything around you. But if you want to break free of the dancing, it's an action to try and break free, and it's a wisdom save. Or you can just attack
Question.
what's around you. Yes.
If I was to use a charge on the Howling Tempest to fly, would that count as my movement?
Oh, this is interesting because this is where we get into... Let me check what the spell says. Otto's irresistible dance. A dancing creature must use
When I
all its movement to dance without leaving its space. So no, you would not be able to fly out of the space. But you could use a charge to make a ranged attack with it.
Can I see the little...
Just, yeah, you can. She's got a little bit of cover, but you can see the spring eladrin on top of the roof. She's going to have some cover to her AC,
Okay.
but you can see her.
I will take a shot at just smacking her in the face
Throwing.
with a flying hammer / lightning
Sure.
bolt, please.
Yeah, sounds good. So as it says on there, you basically make like a normal attack against her, but it has a range of 60 feet. If you hit, she takes a bunch of extra lightning damage, and then you basically get to chain lightning damage to creatures nearby.
So that is going to be a new things. 25, 26, 28, 29 to hit.
Yeah, just the cover was like protecting her. The hammer rips through the thatch wicker roof and just rips a section of it apart to like get to her basically, and the hammer like smacks her and explodes with lightning. So it's a normal attack plus 46 lightning, and then I think I said 3 creatures within 30 feet take 46 lightning damage as well.
So, what am I doing? I'm rolling the complete. I rolled my d20 instead of my d10. Moron. So 16 damage on the hammer plus 2, 5.
This because this will affect her cons.
12 lightning damage. Do I also get the d6 on that?
20.
Yeah.
28.
No, I
You
wouldn't
do.
use it.
Yeah, technically you do.
Do I?
Actually,
Okay.
no. Let's say no.
So-
Let's say no because that will be part of the 46. Sorry, that's me changing stuff. So 28 total damage. So that's a So first of all, she has to make a concentration check, DC 14, which she succeeds. So she maintained concentration of the spell. But then 3 creatures of your choice within 30 feet of the target get to take 46 lightning damage as well.
Within 30 feet of the target.
Mm-hmm. So you've got like the Treant, the Eladrin, you've got these little boys around you. You could hit 3 of the little boys around you if you want.
Sure, I'll hit 3 of the little boys. Just try and take them
They
out.
die! As soon as they are struck by lightning, they are blown apart. As this lightning blast just like descends back down towards you as the hammer flies back into your hand and evaporates 3 of these little twig fellas.
I will point at the little shit on the roof and be like, take her down!
I can't stop dancing! As you're just like mushing around, just...
Me or
okay.
her?
I don't know who it is, but the big
It's on a roof
trees...
too.
The big trees
You're
are
not
going to
you. Not you.
go... this bemuddled one is just going to come bundling up towards... towards Nova. This one's going to stay where it is, and the other one's going to stay where it is as well. So, Nova, this is Treant A, I believe, is just going to take 2 swings at you, bud. It's just going to come, and it's a minus D4. Do you want to roll that for me now?
D6. So roll
D6.
a D6, subtract from your attack
If you roll
so
the D6
first
for me.
one
Yep.
is a 4. So minus
So
4.
minus 4. So I'll just minus 4 from the total attack. So 25.
Let me check.
Still hits. Yeah, I think that still hits. Second attack.
That's gonna hit. Minus 1.
So 18. So I believe that actually just misses, right? So yeah, in its befuddled state, the first attack lands, but then its second big swing doesn't quite connect. From the first attack, you're going to take 12 points of damage, really low. As it's, clearly confused and disorientated as it slams its hand down on the roof. Bruh. Doesn't quite manage to connect.
Can do it.
Bruh.
Just don't.
Bruh.
You can make an intelligence saving throw if you'd like.
Oh, yeah, I will. Yeah, sure. Bruh. 21. Actually,
Bruh.
save. I rolled a natural 20. So it kind of like shakes itself free.
Bruh.
Bruh. Ayla. It's going to attack you twice with advantage. I love it when I get them. Alright, it definitely hits. First attack. 17. That's going to be 9 points of bludgeoning damage. I've already halved it. Ayla.
Oh, there goes that eyeliner.
Second attack. Ooh. That is a 20, which I believe still just hits. And that's going to be 17, so that's 8 more points of bludgeoning damage. These 2 big, heavy strikes, kind of like you're like, kind of fending them off, just more annoyed than anything else. This one's more like, rah! And then the last one, Sentry. 2 big swings at you now.
Okay.
28.
Yeah.
Rah! And 27, both hit.
Yep.
Yeah. 19 points. And 15 points. That's a total of 34 points of damage total.
Nice.
As these big treants are slammed down on top of you. Lucius, this Winter Eladrin is going to turn on you. And I think she's actually going to... she was here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, she's going to draw her blade, her longsword. And... Oh, actually, no, this one is not about longswords. She still will. She's going to try and just slash at you, basically. 22.
Yeah.
For 6 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, I won't
That's it.
reduce it. I should probably
Okay.
should start.
You probably should, yeah. Alright, which ones of these are not concentration spells?
HP's under 200 now. It always has been.
It always has been.
Always has been.
Quill, the spring Eladrin, that's the one that's causing Ayla to dance, is going to aim her longbow at you and is going to take 2 shots. Yeah. Well,
Why?
her other spells are all concentration, so she's going to shoot you twice. First one's a miss. Second one is a miss. These 2 arrows go sailing past. And then this Autumn Eladrin is going to... what will this one going to do?
What was this one gonna do?
What this one gonna do? Oh, I know this one we're gonna do. 5, 10, 15. She's gonna actually clamber up, using the tree ant as a way to kind of clamber up. She's gonna draw her sword and kind of hanging off the tree ant is gonna swing at Nova. Yeah, 15 to hit though.
Come at me, brah. No. That's the
Come
nothing.
at me, brah. No. Lucius, at the start of your turn, because you are within the Winter Eladrin's sorrowful presence, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please. You have advantage because you are an elf. This is a charm effect.
Okay. First one's 11. Second one, 2.
11. You are very fitting for Lucius, even with the advantage. You are overwhelmed. First of all, you are charmed, which means that you can't actually make attacks against the Winter Eladrin herself. But also, you are overwhelmed with sorrow. You have disadvantage on ability checks and saving throws. You can repeat the same throw at the end of your turn, each turn, basically. But yeah, while you're charmed, you can't attack the charmed creature, the creature that charmed you.
Very fitting indeed.
You're overwhelmed with sadness. So sad.
Is it my go now?
It is, in fact, your go, yeah. Because that was at the start of your turn.
Brilliant. In which case, I'm going to, as much as this is a Winter Eladrin, I'm still going to do it. Cast Armor of Agathis on myself. Quickened.
Okay. So, yep. Bonus action.
That's right.
What level are you casting at?
3rd. So that's 15 temp
points,
HP.
yeah.
And with my action, I'm going to get out my Storm's Command sword. And I'm going to start swinging. And as he raises it up in like fencing stance, like he points the sword directly in front of his nose, you see a little bit of stubble around Lucius. Yeah.
Very rare for an elf.
And then he very dexterously starts swinging at those little trout creatures.
Little boys.
Just to warm up. So here we go.
Well, you can't attack. Right now, you're sort of the Winter
sorrowful.
Eladrin is your friend. You're like, yes, oh my friend. Oh, these things are attacking me. I'll fight them.
27.
Is a hit. It dies.
It
So
died.
you smash it to pieces. You just, with a fencer's thrust, rip the blade through its chest, throw it to the side.
Now, can I, because I've cast Armor of Agathis, use Dichromancy?
Yeah.
I'm going to use Dichromancy on one of the other ones. So that just kills that one, right?
Also, yeah, you're gonna a bolt of ice blasts out of your armor and smashes the other one to pieces.
It's all very flourishing and overly flamboyant.
Now's the point just to note, you are only charmed by this creature, you're not dominated, so whilst you can't attack that Winter Eladrin, you can still act normally, but, oh yes, your friend, like, you just see them as like a friend, but you're also so sad.
I'm so sorry about all this, as I'm just destroying wood around you.
You will be, my friend. Oh, how pathetic a life you must be. And it's just like, saying all these horrible things to you, basically.
Not wrong.
Sentry! The Summer Eladrin looks at you, grips his sword in both hands. Have at thee! Hurrah! He's going to charge towards you.
Let's go.
Let's go, gamers. First of all, this is on your turn. I don't need to really use his phase step. No, he's just gonna come in, start swinging. Okay, 2 longsword attacks. I'm rolling like a god. 26 to hit on the first one.
Yeah.
And 20 to hit on the second one, which I believe is a miss against Sentry, isn't it?
I did
AC
miss,
21.
yeah.
So the first one is going to be 18 points of slashing and 8 points of fire. So that's going to be 26 total. Scores a hefty blow against your armor.
Yeah.
And then the last tree ant, which looks very, very injured, is going to swat at the angel, basically, annoyed by this angel's presence because it keeps beating him up, keeps shooting him. So, Quill, have you got like an AC for Angel Quill, like Angel Celestial?
I do indeed. It's not great. It's 16. Yeah,
All
16.
Both attacks hit. The last one is a critical hit.
Okay.
So the first one is going to be 13 points of damage to it. And then the next one will be 12, 18 plus 16, 28, 34 points of damage.
Oh, it's dead.
So, like, this angel, like, blasts the tree man with two things, and it just turns around and goes, "Bah!" and, like, just buries it into the ground, just grabs it and smashes it into the ground.
That's cool. Okay.
Nova.
But it looked cool.
I did look very cool.
Hello.
It looked cool.
Hello.
Hello, my friend.
At the start of your turn, Nova, you are within an aura of one of these Eladrin. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay. I rolled an 18 plus
That's fine.
4.
Yep, you are also now immune to this one's enchanting presence. Oh, and to any Eladrin's enchanting presence. So yeah, you feel that like being near this Eladrin, you want like it's trying to make you see it as its friend, and you don't even think if it's a conscious effect. Just being near this thing is intoxicating. Like you want to be friends with it, and you want to listen to it, but you kind of blah, 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 shake it off, and then kind of come to the realization of what's going on.
Yes. Sorry, love. I'm taken. I would... I'd like to do another synaptic shock, but I think I'm going to hit myself in it because I can't
Probably.
disengage. And I thought about doing Wall of Light, but no, we're going to do another synaptic static, and it will catch everyone that's around me, including myself. So I will roll.
Let me have a quick read the old spell.
It says you choose a point within range.
Yeah, each
and cause
creature.
psychic
Yeah, so
energy to explode. Each creature. Yeah. So,
so it's
on a
going to
20
include
foot
you.
radius. And I couldn't figure out a way to angle it that I couldn't get caught in it, basically.
Yeah, as long as you don't hit the civilian. But yeah,
I rolled a 19 though, so 19 plus 3. I'm not gonna get hit, but I'll take half damage though.
You'll take half damage. I will roll for Mr. Treant. Fail.
5.
And then for the Autumn Eladrin, who does have advantage. This is a spiel. Oh, the Eladrin rolls a natural 20 for 22. So the Eladrin succeeds, but the Treant does not.
25 points of psychic damage.
25 points of psychic damage. It continues to be muddled or muddled again. And then that's going to be 12 points to the Eladrin and you.
Worth it.
But yeah, and you just watch all of the twig blights just again, their heads just blow up as soon as the spell washes over them. As you do so. Anything else, Nova?
Nah, that me.
That you dumb. That
Bruh.
you dundo. But bruh.
Dumbo.
The few remaining twig bites don't really have a lot of, or needle blights, don't really have a lot of options. They can't reach Quill. Actually, they do have a ranged attack. A couple of them are just going to shoot needles up into the air to try and catch Quill, but the others are all going to kind of swarm towards Sentry.
So much flak up here.
Yeah. So, Quill, let's do you. Their ranged attack isn't as good. The first one is a miss. Second one is a 15.
It does hit.
For 5 points of damage. As you are peppered by needles. Sentry. These guys are going to attack you. First one's a miss. Second one is a miss. Third one's a miss. Ayla. They have advantage. Ooh, that one actually might hit. 22. That's going to be a hit. And then the next one is also a hit. So first one is going to be 11 points, half to 5. And then 18, half to 9. So these things are just trying to rip into you as you go. And then we go to Keelek.
Cool. I want to fly over the heads of all of these things so they don't hit me.
Yeah, I mean, you're flying.
Land.
They can't opportunity attack.
And land on the roof of this building right next to Ayla. I'm within 50 feet of Lucius and everyone else. I want to do another big heal spell, please.
Okay.
And I'm doing this at 6th level, so it's going to be 4d8 plus 6. 2, 3, 4. Boom.
32.
19
No.
plus 6.
25.
So 25 healing and ending any spell below 6th level.
That's the most important
Oh.
one. So, but below 6th level,
Oh,
did
yeah.
you say?
Yes, I think that's how Spellbreaker works.
Uh-oh.
Yes, equal to or lower than the level of the healing spell.
That is just enough. You break the enchantment over Ayla. Her legs stop dancing. Lucius, your charm effect goes. You are now immune to the effects as well.
Yes.
And
Ayla,
Jet,
you really
you
need
feel
to learn how to dance.
I'll show you.
Quill, anything else?
Dancing!
And that's me.
All right.
That's
Sentry.
just me.
Okay, I'm gonna go around and use my lance on the Eladrin again and on the tree ant again as well, please.
Yeah, so like just spinning between these two things, like
Spinning
smacking
between
them
the
about.
two.
Yeah, love it.
So we'll do the Eladrin first. 3 plus 12 is 15, so it's probably
It's not enough. No, he kind of he doesn't even need to parry it this time. He just sort of ducks and weaves, dancing around this big weapon that you're kind of like throwing around, like gracefully. I'm afraid you'll have to do a bit better than that. Ha ha! Ooh, hi.
15 for the
She's
tree.
used all her luck.
My luck's gone, Mark.
Immediately.
15
Gone.
against the tree and just misses. Do you have any way that you want to boost that? Like, do you want
The
to
only
use?
way
You
to
got
do
driven
it
to
is by,
purpose, or
That's a reaction though. Before I know the roll, I can't. Can
Oh,
you do
fair
it?
enough. All right. Well,
Yeah.
unfortunately, this time the treant, still kind of getting used to wielding Starbreaker, doesn't quite connect, unfortunately. Any
So
bonus
I'll
actions
do-
or anything? If not, we go to Ayla.
Let's do a bonus action for funsies. Let's see what we got. Let's do Shield of Faith. Let's put my AC up by 2.
All right, yeah, so 23 now. Ayla,
23 AC.
you are not dancing.
Woohoo! So I'm gonna hit one of the little twig boys beside me
Okay.
first.
I mean,
which
You know what? Don't even fucking roll. With your bonus, you can hit their AC, unless you roll a 1, actually, and technically a 1 is
I
an
didn't
auto
roll a
miss. Right,
I
it
rolled a
does.
5.
It
Okay.
does.
Can I use my storm aura on the other twig blight that's next to me? So can they make
Yep,
a
it
DC
dies.
18?
Yeah, it doesn't need to. Half damage will still kill it. So as you
And-
smash the first one, you explode in lightning and destroy the other one.
And then I will use my next strike on the tree beside me, please.
Okay, nice. Yeah, this
Which
one actually
will
hasn't
be
really
a-
been injured that much.
21 to hit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Then 18 hammer damage plus 2 lightning damage.
So
For that
20.
one.
Yeah, the strike hits the tree and definitely the lightning arcs up on it. There's a smell of burning, but it still seems to be lumbering on. Anything else?
Sure. That's me for now.
Okay, well, let's do the tree ants then. Nova, do you want to roll your befuddle for the first attack that's going to come your way?
I rolled a 6, yo.
6, so -6, that's a miss on that first one. And then do you want to roll another befuddle for the second attack?
That's a 2.
19, it reduces it to, which I believe is just enough.
Yep.
So you're going to take another 19 points of damage as another big bonk as this thing smashes into you.
Bonk.
The other one is going to go Ayla. You've just got its full attention now. It's going to try and attack you twice. For a 15 is a miss. You deflect the first blow. And a 24 is the next one, which means you take 14, half to 7 more points of damage as this tree is trying to smack you around. But you're just kind of like knocking its blows to the side, digging your heels into the ground, leaving these big trails.
Could you roll a intelligence saving throw for your tree ant to see if he breaks out
yeah.
of being dumb?
It does not.
Bruh.
No,
Okay.
it fails. So, sensing that it has got some more enemies, Lucius, you're actually going to get an opportunity attack because you're no longer charmed, as the Winter Eladrin is going to move away. 10,
I didn't see that coming, did you? Ladrin.
I got a solid 13 to hit there.
13 is not enough. No, just it kind of leaps and gracefully dances away. And then they are going to turn and angling it so they catch. They are unfortunately going to hit both Treants, but they're going to catch Sentry, Ayla, and Quill, and 2 of these Vine Blights. You can see that this Winter Eladrin does not care if it hits its allies, as they are going to project a Cone of Cold. So that is a Constitution saving throw from Sentry, Ayla, and Quill.
Okay. Does it matter that I'm on the roof? Like I'm a little higher up?
It's like it's a 60-foot cone, so she can angle it slightly
okay.
up and still just catch absolutely everyone.
22. I have a plus 10.
Okay.
Damn.
Sentry?
15.
15. Okay, so Ayla, you're going to take half damage. Sentry, you're going to take half damage because of your aura, but you still technically failed. And then Quill, you're going to take full damages. I should also make a saving throw for the 2 Treants. Damage. One Treant fails. The Treant next to Ayla succeeds, so it's going to take half damage. The one next to Sentry fails, is going to take the full amount. I'm going to have to do an advanced dice roller here. 8d8.
Oh, jeez.
28 points of cold damage, so 14 for Ayla and Sentry. That is enough that this last Treant is frozen and just crumbles into pieces. There's one next to Sentry. The one that was on the ship just breaks apart and just crumbles into nothing. And then the other one is going to take 14. Bro. Sad. Yeah, this giant cone of cold erupts from the Eladrin's hands. The spring Eladrin up on the roof is going to look down on the scene and is going to... she is going to cast... let's see. Sentry, can you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Okie dokie. 29.
So you see this spring Eladrin is like kind of singing and sort of playing music, maybe on like a little flute or something, and your brain starts to get all muddled and confused, but then the power of the Matrix surges through you and you shake it off unaffected.
Nice.
You see that she's a little bit annoyed. Lastly, this Autumn Eladrin, you weren't charmed. She kind of is like, this is a problem. And how injured is the Treant you're currently riding on? It's pretty injured. But then her mate is actually... she is going to see if she recharges. She does. She's going to phase step away.
What?
Yep. She phase steps to the corner of this building as a bonus action. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. She gets next to her spring Eladrin friend, and she's going to cast Heal on her.
Oh, that's a fucking huge spell.
That's a big
That's
heal.
big boy 70
70.
HP, isn't it, or something?
Yeah.
I am.
huge.
I am casting
That's
a
a
spell.
lot.
I'm giving everyone an opportunity if there is any shenanigans.
I point and
I
say,
get
that's
it?
a spell.
Counterspell.
That's a really big spell.
Lucius, let's see if you're in range. I think you are. Yep.
A
She
witch.
teleported. Did I get an opportunity to attack?
No, because teleports don't provoke opportunity attacks, unfortunately. But yeah, so Lucius, you want to try and counter spell?
7th level, please.
You're just going to do it at 7th level.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shut it down. So you watch as Lucius reaches out, and what does this look like? Like, what's the reaction? Like, you see this kind of autumnal Eladrin with hands glowing with life energy is about to touch the spring Eladrin and surge life force through her. What does it look like?
Can Lucius just click? And
No.
around his hand, like when Doctor Strange kind of breaks the dimensions and you see glass and it's kind of distorted. Around his hand, it kind of forms a shield around her as well. A brief flash of like blocking.
And the spell just impacts the shield and just evaporates, just like nothing happens. Nice. You just see them look around, and the Autumn Eladrin kind of whispers something in her ear. That's all you see. Lucius, it's your turn.
All right. I'm going to disengage from this little fella.
Okay, so you've got
invoking an
action.
opportunity attack.
No, you disengaged, right? You said you
No.
want to spend action.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to
Oh,
move
you're not
away.
going to do that. Don't say
Invoke-
disengage.
No, I use the wrong term.
That's
so
fine.
attack me, please.
Yeah, he's going to
attack me, daddy.
swing. Yeah, that's going to hit 21.
Yeah, Armor of Agathis. Can I kill it?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, you're going to take 8 points of damage, so your temp HP goes down by 8, and then he takes 15 points, which kills him. As he hits you, he's like, "Nyah!" And then it just explodes in ice, and like pieces of Twigman go flying everywhere.
And then I'm going to 5th level Chromatic Orb at the Winter Eladrin, please.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Ding dong. Here we go. It's going to hit. It's guaranteed. 21.
That's a hit.
8d8.
He's doing it.
What type of damage? Cold?
Acid. Not cold. You silly.
Oh, that's a shame.
Don't be silly. That's
yeah,
44.
she's struck in the back, and you just see like the clothing, this kind of blue and black brown clothing is just like ripped, like melted, and you can see like her skin begins to burn. She's like, cries out in pain. Heavily wounded by that as it slams
Good,
into her back.
because here comes a big old dichromancy
How much?
of 10 plus a bit of
Spend some
gauntlet
charges.
energy.
Sure.
I'm going to do a couple more. That's D8, I believe, right? Or was it D6?
D6.
2D6. So that is total of 16 points of acid damage.
16 points. She looks like she's ready to collapse, and like you do weakly hear her call out like, "My brothers and sisters, we must flee. We must leave this place. We are failing."
I would have had to have moved towards her to be able to do that.
That's fine, yeah. Well, you didn't use that much of your movement, that's fine. Just move yourself where you would have been in range. The Summer Eladrin, who is currently fighting Sentry, flee in our moment of triumph! Never! Ha-ha! He just charges towards Sentry. Two hands,
Can we
two-handing.
keep him? Can we
maybe.
keep him?
Quite like this
just
guy.
like, yeah.
First attack is a miss, like bounces off your armor. You parry it to the side of the Starbreaker. Second one's an 18. Yeah, both it's just like clang, clang of steel, flames kind of like erupting all around you. As he does so, that treant is now dead. So Nova Vija, we'll finish up this because I think we're basically the end, and then we're going to take a break. But let's do one more round.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna Hexblade curse him.
The
and
treant.
then I'm going to the treant, and then I'm gonna attack him with Tiangong. So yeah, I wield Tiangong, and if anyone's close up shot or anything, like Tiangong looks slightly bigger and glowier.
Yeah. And also, yeah, you probably would hear as you go to wield Tiangong that his voice would probably come out.
Yes.
Would it?
Tiangong?
I'm worried about I'm not using the correct. There we go.
It would appear that our allies are in great need of our assistance, Nova Vija. I would hope that we can deal with this creature quickly.
And yeah, you do notice there is that everybody else there is that more intelligent, kind of less broken up, like fully formed sentience there now.
So with Hexblade curse and everything, I rolled 11 plus 17, so that is 28 to hit. Does that hit?
Hexblade Curse doesn't increase attack rolls, does it?
It adds
It's damage.
5.
Adds damage to the damage roll.
Adds
not
to the
attack roll.
damage, doesn't it? So
That's fine.
11
I mean,
plus.
it's still gonna hit.
12. Okay, so I rolled
that's still
an
gonna
8
hit.
as well. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 points of damage.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna
Halves through.
green flame blade it as well.
Okay, sure.
So that's 2d8 extra.
Try and
it's
say
6
that before you
points.
make the attack roll, just because that's technically
Sorry.
a spell, so there might be spell shenanigans, but that's fine. You can do it.
Okay.
So what's the extra damage?
6 points of flame damage.
6 more points of fire damage.
Wait,
actually,
there are spell shenanigans, aren't there? Isn't Hexblade curse
not
a
against the
spell?
treant. No, not against the treant.
Oh, okay.
There is the Elantrin have magic resistance, which means that they have advantage on saving throws.
Oh no, I was
but the
talking about
treant
Hexblade
doesn't.
curse as well. But that's not a spell, is it?
That's when I don't know what you're referring to.
2 spells in 1 turn. That's what I'm
Yeah,
referring to.
Hexblade Curse isn't a spell.
Right.
It's not a spell.
It's a feature. hexblade
The
creature.
this is the first time it's been struck by fire. The treant does not like fire, and as the green flame kind of erupts around it, it burns the creature even more badly than you're expecting.
Sorry. Am I sorry?
The last two little needle blights are all going to go for Sentry now. Let's see if they do. Miss. Hit. Oh no, not a hit, because you're 23 AC at the moment, aren't you?
At the moment, yeah.
So only one of them just barely hits for 16 points of damage, Sentry, as it kind of claws into your back while you're trying to fight. Keela Kalar.
Cool. I'm going to heal myself with a 4th level bonus action healing word, which is 44 plus 6, 16 healing. Pretty cool.
Okay.
And then with my action, I am going to use a cantrip. Which one is it called? Sacred Flame on the low health little Lucius enemy.
The Winter Eladrin.
Yes.
And what do I have to
Dex
do? Is this a
save.
dex?
Dex save.
Ooh.
21.
Doesn't look particularly agile, strangely. 10. That's a failure.
Boom. 3d8 plus 6. Oh, that is a lot. Oh my god, that is a lot.
For a
26
cantrip.
damage. For a
Well, yeah,
cantrip.
because he's a cleric, he gets to add his wisdom modifier to
Right.
cantrips now. And
Plus
yeah,
6,
3d8 that's a high roll. You watch as the Winter Eladrin, this kind of holy white light just seems to erupt, and like her wounds glow, and like she just as if on fire, collapses to the ground dead.
Brutal.
Hey, brutal.
I just
She also
splashed
starts
her
melting.
tons of acid and then you just set her on fire.
Holy
Radiant
fire, isn't that
damage.
quite-
Holy fire.
Yeah.
Holy fire,
Holy
sorry.
fire.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It came
Yeah.
from my dead god.
Anything else, Quill?
That's it. That's
All right.
me.
Sentry.
I would like to cast Sunbeam, please.
So coming from the golden orb of your chest, this beam of light.
5, 10. Can I hit this one as well?
You can. You will probably set that house on fire, but you know you'll destroy its roof. But
I mean, I'm going to hit it regardless. It's a 60
I mean, this
foot
thing is
line.
like there is like parts of these houses have been frozen solid, blasted by lightning. Like there's already loads of damage to this town or village.
It's up and coming.
There's a rock in the roof
Yeah.
of my one. Like,
Yeah, there's a rock
someone
in
threw
it.
a rock up there.
Sure.
So
So yeah, you can
Radiant
hit
damage.
both.
Okay.
Awesome. So that'll be
Yeah.
a con save for both of the Eladrin, please.
This would be a tourist
summer-
trap. It's where they fought. Right here.
They really
Right.
the
destroyed
bird
this.
What's
trees.
the DC re?
16 con save.
Con save. Okay, the one on the roof does save. I got a natural 20 plus 3, so 23.
Sweet.
But the Summer Eladrin is going to take this right in the chest. It's just like, it's like knocked back.
Alrighty, let's go. 68. 26 damage, and then he'll be blinded as well until my next turn.
Right, and then the other one takes half, I'm assuming.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't like that. Is that, and that's radiant damage, isn't it? It's not fire
That
damage.
is, yeah. Radiant.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, like you watch as he's like knocked back and he's blinded. He's like, what has happened? Well, I can still fight. And he's like pulling up his sword and he's trying to like look around. The one on the roof did manage to like duck and get some cover, but you definitely hear like a yelp of pain coming from that direction.
Nice.
Ayla, unless there's anything else, Sentry, on your turn.
No, that's good. I can't really move, so yeah, I'll just keep on whacking.
Stay where you are. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Ayla.
I don't like the one on the roof, so I am going to use another one of my hammer's charges, and I'm going to fly up to the roof, land in front of her, and smack her in the face.
Yeah. So where you've seen like Ayla do these big jumps before, now she just holds the Howling Tempest up and just flies up onto the roof. But it doesn't seem to last very long. It's not like a full flight spell. It's like she flies for a moment and then drops at the end of her turn, basically. But yeah, you just drop the hammer down. Awesome.
Yeah.
The Treant will technically get an opportunity attack, but I don't think that's going to be a big deal for Ayla. 14 is a miss
Right.
anyway.
You ride it like a broomstick.
No, I hold it up in front of me, and
But could you?
You know.
She goes full 4.
no.
Okay. Okay, all right,
Anyway.
okay, just making sure.
So yeah, you the treant misses. Ayla, you come landing down. You can see that spring eladrin, the one that you bloodied, looks very hurt, and is like almost being clutched by the other one. They're kind of holding each other in their arms, and they look at you with
19.
absolute terror. Yeah, you hit.
So 19 plus 14 to hit.
Yep.
Then they're going to take 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 points of damage.
You
from the
just
hammer,
hear her like,
plus-
no, and then the hammer just like cracks like her face, and she just goes limp in the other Eladrin's arms. Like she was like holding onto her, and then you just like smash her head, and it's just.
Oh, I'm going to hit the next one then.
No witnesses.
So that's a
You just
30
step
to
around. Yeah, it hits. yeah.
Yes.
hit. She made her dance for a really long time. Sorry,
Hell
but not
yeah.
sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Oh, I rolled full damage on my dice. So that is 23 on the hammer. Plus
23,
6 damage of the lightning on the hammer strike.
9.
And then
Yep.
a dex save, please.
Next save. That is a 18.
Oh, just a save, yeah.
So half.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Half.
So 8 halved. So yeah, you swing up, like finishing off the one in her arms, and then you bring the hammer up and like catch the other one. Not quite bloodied, but you do see like silver blood kind of trailing out of the side of her mouth, and she just looks at you with just that hate, just hatred, just looks at you and grits her teeth as you do so. Anything else, Ayla, on your turn?
I'll just stare back at her.
Okay.
I'm good.
The treants, without many enemies, one's just going to step up towards Quill on the roof and just swing at you, unable to really reach it. What? You're there!
Oh, but I didn't know I'd be in range of this. No, okay, fine.
I mean, you didn't say that you flew up higher, right? You just stayed on the rooftop. You cast a spell and then you didn't move up any higher.
How tall is the roof? I thought
It's
it was
like 15 feet.
high up.
It's like 15 feet up, but this is a huge creature. This is like 19-foot tall treant. It's like a
It is
giant.
a tree. It is a tree. I should have
Yeah.
known. Well, I'll take it.
Okay. 2 big swings.
Right?
28 on the first one. 29 on the second one, so both hit. 17 points of damage, followed by 20 points of damage. It's just 37 points of damage. It's fine. Whack, whack. Nova, the one next to you is
Mine's
also going to
still-
try and swing. It's befuddled,
Is it
yeah.
still muddled?
Yeah, it's still muddled. Yeah.
6 on the first one.
Causes it to miss. It would have hit otherwise. Second one.
1 on the second one.
Second one still hits, unfortunately. 27 minus 1, 26.
But I'm going to use Armor of
Oh.
Hexes. On a reaction, I can roll a d6 and subtract it. That's a 3.
Isn't it just if you roll a 4, 5, or 6, it misses?
That's what it does, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
I rolled a 3, so it's still going to
So it
hit.
didn't miss. All right, 15 points of damage
Significantly
then.
more powerful.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very strong. It's very, very good.
I'm reading a lot of things real fast.
Right. The Eladrins are almost dead. Ayla, you see the one in front of you clutching like her dead friend, basically, just calls out and just says, if you want to die here, that's your choice. But I'm going to save my sister. And she's going to pull out, like, you can see it's like a Valkyrian, like a piece of, like, a metal, almost like a wand with, like, a crystal at the end. Very Valkyrian in design. And she presses a button on it, and the two of them are going to vanish in, like, rainbow light. They basically teleport away, disappearing as they go.
They have a
But she does take the
Bifrost.
dead... She takes the dead one with them when she carries that with her and, like, teleports away with it.
Damn.
Lucius. You can hear the faint sounds of like a tree smashing Quill. You can hear like Nova fighting something. You can hear this blinded Eladrin like, I can still fight. Ha ha! Yeah.
I'll move up towards the Ent on the right hand side.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to join in on the fun. So, I probably shouldn't use Vitriolic Sphere 'cause it's surrounded by civilians. The easiest thing for me to do is to continue my Chromatic Orb. So I'm going to do that.
Sure. Sure, go to.
It is my go-to. 6th level this time on the int. So here we go. Just to knock that boy out. That is a 4 plus 4, 14 to hit. But it's a big int, right? So that definitely hits.
It's a big
It
tree.
does actually hit.
How do you miss a tree?
Oh, I thought it was 14 plus 4. No, 14 is a miss, I'm afraid. Would you like to seeking spell?
I will seek it. Yeah, I'm really running low on
That's
that.
okay. You're not going to have another
Okay.
fight again, surely.
18.
That hits.
This is acid. Fire. I'm going to use fire.
Okay. You means you don't get dichromancy.
Yeah, but that's fine, because I've saw in the very distance Nova inflicting a green flame.
So you're going to do fire, are you? So 38
38.
doubled is
76.
72 points of damage, I believe. No,
76?
38 doubled, 60. Yeah, 76. Yeah, you're right, 76. You watch as this ball of fire basically explodes over this tree, and it just, all of its branches, its leaves are now on fire. Quill, this is terrifying as it's like
Still
Attack
waving
on
at Nova.
Titan. You're on the roof, and this thing is looming over at you, and then suddenly it's just on fire.
Just a soft orange glow on Lucius's face.
You're like that little kid. You're like the little girl in the meme where it's just burning behind you, and you're like looking at Nova.
Lucius, you look great!
We're killing people.
Anything else on your turn? Anything else, Lucius?
No, that's it.
Okay. The Summer Eladrin looks like he's blinded, so he's like trying to look around, and then he just raises his sword, and he just holds it up, and he just drops his sword to the side. He's just like, my allies have fled. I'm clearly beaten. I will surrender for now, but I will not give you any secrets. I am loyal to my lord. I will go. If you will take me as an honorable prisoner, I will surrender.
What, just immediately turn heel.
No, he's not turning heel, but he
No, I just mean, like,
knows that his allies
I will
have
never
fled.
give up a fight. I have been beaten.
Well, no, he likes a challenge, but he knows that he's been beaten, so he can't physically win. He's not just going to die here for like no reason.
Okay.
Let the beautiful man come with us. Come on.
He's not going to come with you, but you can take him prisoner if you like, or you can just kill him.
Sure.
But with that, you guys can finish off these treants. So I don't want to keep playing out this combat because I want to take a break. The treants are really no match for you guys now that you can kind of muster all of your forces. Ayla can fucking fly in and smash them apart. Even if you go down, like there's plenty of people here that can like heal you and stuff like that. Lucius can just burn them again. And
Well, yeah. After all that, can Lucius look at this Eladrin and dominate monster?
Yeah.
That's what I would like to do. So it's a wisdom saving throw of 18.
Fucking hell. Okay, Jesus. All right, I wanted to go on break, but sure. So you
That's
wait.
cool.
He fails. So I rolled a 1.
So I've got a telepathic link to him, and I can issue commands. I'm going to spend the next action, obviously, to take full control.
Yep.
And I'm going to say, tell us everything you know.
Okay. Yes.
That's how I'm going to end
I
the
will not
break.
tell you my secrets. Here's all my secrets.
He basically is just like, I will never betray my lord, but if you will take me as honorable prisoner, then so be it. I failed. And then he just stops speaking. And then the next words out of his mouth is, he's just like, we were sent here to help encourage the visitors, encourage the residents to join the Valkyrian Empire. My lord, it is a little known fact that my kind have a natural influence around the people around us, and so we were sent here to help spread the word of the Valkyrian Empire, and we were taking these people to safety. We were taking them to a nearby settlement where they would be taken aboard. He doesn't have any deep military secrets, but he certainly can give you plenty of intel on this mission here and what his siblings were doing. The 4 of them are basically like a little unit that are normally sent out to kind of, control an area because they have this natural pacifying element about them. And he basically tells you all about that. He'll probably give you like information about like, there probably is like some military stuff he knows, like oh, there's a unit stationed here, like there's a sizable force of Valkyrian soldiers stationed here, blah blah blah. But it's not the kind of intel that you guys would act on. This is the kind of intelligence that you would take back.
We can debrief.
And now,
yeah.
And it's an actual fact that after you kind of wrap up everything here, with the Eladrin gone, the civilians all kind of come to their senses. They're still quite wary of you guys, but they realize that something was going on, that all the stuff that they were being told by these Eladrin, they weren't quite in their right minds, and so they were agreeing to stuff they didn't quite understand. But as that is all happening, the Stormchaser, which you can now see for the audience's view, has been significantly changed, like upgraded. There are now more armored walls along the sides of the open decks. The top deck almost has like these armored sides. You can see that the main arcane cannons have been completely finished and integrated into the physical hull, so there's no longer like any exposed gunners or anything like that. It's still a work in progress. Things are still being changed, but you can see what looks to be rows of crystals projecting these like experimental fields, where it would basically give you like a kind of, you know, way to look out on something but still be protected. And yeah, it's all being upgraded. And Aerois lands. You delivers like a unit of guardians. Like there is a kind of unit of soldier guardians who are going to come and secure this village and basically make sure everybody's okay. And Aerois says, Captain, my friends, I'm good that you're here. I need to take you back to Horizon. Both Danica and Vala wanted to speak with you urgently once the mission was successful. I need to take you back now.
All aboard then.
Very good.
If we leave, that's when I dismiss Dominate Monster, and he's just left there on his own.
Yeah. Does he? Well, you can tell me. Does he remember being under your control?
Yeah,
and what
I'll make
did?
sure he remember everything that he spilled.
Oh yeah. As soon as you
God.
release it, he's just like, you villain. You villain, you made me betray my oaths. And you're like, he's shouting this as you're being led. I will never forgive you. I will never forgive you, Stormchasers, this dishonorable. And he's just like calling all this stuff out as you're like boarding the Stormchaser.
He's making so many statements like, I will never surrender. Always Sunny theme. The Eladrin surrenders. I'll never tell you my secrets. Always Sunny theme. He tells us everything. I'll never forgive you, though.
No, he's a very passionate guy. He's a summer Eladrin. They're all about passion and stuff. But yeah, you leave a very, very angry Eladrin in the under the care of the Guardians that you kind of leave in this place. We'll have them. We'll probably have them led by like Lasso or somebody like that. Lasso's kind of like commanding the group here.
Sweet.
And yeah. Cool. We're going to take a break, and then when we come back, it will be you guys arriving in Horizon. So feel free to take a long rest. That was just that was basically just a little way, you know, everyone gets to use their new cool stuff immediately. Everyone gets to show off their cool characters, and also a nice little refresher on sort of like combat and doing stuff and things
it's like the
that.
next big Avengers movie. It kicks off with action.
Exactly.
After some time away.
Exactly.
Perfect.
You got to start it off with in media res, you know.
Love it.
But yeah, we're gonna take a break, and then we'll come back. You guys, you get a long rest, yeah. So, and then when we come back, we'll be in Horizon.
On that.
You went
I figured.
hard.
Really went big on that fight.
Right.
Awesome.
Cool.
Take it away, Thomas. All yours.
Okay, sure. Let me just find where we are, because it's been a long time since I've read some donations, and I need to get used to it again. We had a donation at the very, very start of the stream from Mr. Altissimo. It was a quarter hundo, and he says, hey, high rollers. Happy to see y'all back. Been a rough weekend and going to my grandfather's funeral. Sorry to hear that. It brightened my day when I saw that you went live. Thankfully, no Brookstones in this airport. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. And Mr. Altismo again with $5 dues. Also forgot to mention, I used your link to go pick up the legendary bundle from D&D Beyond, which
that's awesome.
Too. Yes, absolutely. Not entirely sure what the link does in its entirety, but I knew I'd use your link when I could. It means that they know you came from us, and it supports us in the process. So thank you very much. Much love. Thank you very much, Mr. Altissimo. Kel G donated with found Aerois just looking to learn to play and binged the first 10 episodes in 3 weeks. No, 100 episodes in 3 weeks. Sorry. 100 episodes in 3 weeks. That's a lot. Thank you all for one of the best pieces of fiction I've ever seen. Mark, you're a master storyteller. Finally caught alive on my birthday. Happy birthday. and just DM'd my first game yesterday. Congratulations. And thank you very much. Stumbling around with a quarter hundo. Clear skies. Going to have to watch this one later, but I wanted to stop in to say how excited I am for the next arc of the story. You all have made long car rides much more bearable. Can't wait to see what comes next. Thank you very much, Stumbling Around. Enna Jason has donated with a quarter hundo as well. I wanted to listen to a D&D podcast to get me more hyped about playing D&D with my friends. Little did I know, this campaign would become my obsession for the last 8 months. I am finally caught up and watching live for the first time from Portland, Oregon. Amazing. Welcome, Enna Jason, and thank you very much. Magic Fanatics has donated with... Finally caught up after binging the show all summer, and you guys are amazing. I'm such a huge fan of Thalia that she heavily inspired my most recent character after the last one got disintegrated. Oh, may the gods rest his soul. Well, enjoy Thalia 2.0. Kayla Mondorian with a quarter hundo. Thank you very much. So, unfortunately,
Execute
I can't...
Order 66.
What is the context of that?
I thought I was on a different button. I thought I was on.
There we go.
That makes more sense.
That makes a lot more sense. Unfortunately, I can't make any streams for the foreseeable future because of this cool new thing I do. Something about Dungeons and Dragons? I don't know. Sounds lame to me, Kayla Mondorian. But this amazing story must continue no matter what. And as always, clear skies. Thank you very much, Kayla Mondorian. Do not worry about making the streams. VOD Squad for you. Or Pod Squad. Dawson Rhodes has donated with Hi Rollers. Just got out of VOD land. Welcome. I've been watching since the beginning of Lightfall campaign, and you have gotten me through a lot of hard times and helped me get into D&D, which let me use the game to say goodbye to my past older sister. I'm very sorry to hear that, Dawson Rhodes. But yes, I'm glad you're using D&D as an escape, much like we all are. Graceful Smithy has donated with... I just started listening to Aerois this year while I was working, and I'm finally up to date. Welcome. So many times I've had to stop what I was doing in shock or joy at this story. The episode with Arvel and Petal broke me, but I wanted to say thanks for an amazing story. Thank you very much, Graceful Smithy. Brian Indigo has donated with, I didn't come here looking for trouble. I just came to do the Starbreaker Shuffle. There you go.
Interesting.
You got a new song for your Starbreaker straight away. And one last one, Thunderous Red Fox with a $30 redo donation. Hey, High Rollers. Started watching VODs in April when my friend put together a campaign for the first time, and I'm finally caught up. Welcome. You guys inspired my love for D&D and taught me so much. Not enough message space to convey my love and gratitude. Thank you. Thank you very much, Thunderous Red Fox. Man, not enough message space almost ruined me there. It was like a tongue twister. Like, oh, Katie, can you say purple burglar alarm?
Purple burglar alarm.
Oh.
Oh, so disappointed.
I have a strong Southern accent.
Oh.
Oh, burglar alarm.
I'm going to go get a drink.
All right, nice. Well, I'm going to leave Tom to do that. I don't know if he's checked. I will see if our mods have posted anything for us to... Anything else to read out here, the old mod chats.
Oh, while you look and mumble your way through that, don't forget, everybody, we're sponsored by D&D Beyond, and you should really use our link in the chat right now. Wow! And get signed up using the subscription, because that's the best way to get D&D Beyond. You get all the new stuff if you stay subscribed, along with free
enhance
stuff.
Enhance Katie Cam, please.
Oh shit, we got a cat.
He's a baby. He's a little fluffy cute baby. He's Angus.
This is Angus. He's
Very
so cute.
cute.
So cute. Oh, big stretch.
Ah!
I know, it's so cute. I want to read out these things. So there was a bunch of gift subs from Jaylee5397, Greedy Warlock, Ace Artemis, Ace Being Wolfie, Lazy Construct, Stitch Indigo. Thank you very much. We also had bit donations from Trumpole, Inflatable Cat, Tic Tac 8692, Wolfric Ditorani, You high rolls are the best. You've kept us going through working in retail throughout COVID. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you for keep doing those essential jobs. MK13 Wolf, a big old 150 in bitos.
What?
Yeah. So I've been working non-stop this week and bruised my ribs when a shelving unit fell on me. Got into an argument with my
Damn.
manager
Oh my
who threatened to
God.
fire me because I was rightfully pissed and he thought I was overreacting. Still employee of the month though. Oh yeah, good that you're back. Well, thanks and sorry about the injury.
Jeez.
And then thank you, Ola Renve. No message for a donation over on the Yogscast Twitch as well. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
I don't know if I don't know what Thomas is doing, but yeah.
I-
Well, thank you very.
Can
Go
I
on.
take this opportunity to read out something really random? I'm eating this snack, and it has a warning on it. Young children should always be seated and supervised when eating. So,
What do they think you're gonna do?
I don't know. I'd just like to
Oh,
thank
this-
everyone for keeping an eye on me while I was eating it.
Did you guys not
because that
shove
could have
2
been really
Dairy
rough.
Dunker biscuits up your nose and then slam your head on the table? 'Cause
Ah, okay. Yeah,
Stop
I
it.
would have done that if I
Get
wasn't
some
doing it on
help.
stream. So, yeah.
Yeah. Get some help, Trot.
if you're sat, you don't get as good a swing. You get a full body swing.
Right, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What?
we got everyone back. Trot, Tom. What's that? You okay there?
Dark Knight it.
Yeah. Joker.
You want to see
Yeah,
a magic
that's
trick?
Disappear.
Let me show you a little magic trick. Just put 2 Dairy Dunkers up your nose.
I'll send you a picture, Tom. I'll send you a picture. Don't worry.
Anyway,
Okay.
right. We got everyone back. We got a
well
cat.
done.
We got drinks. We got
Oh,
snacks.
I missed that. Oh.
Oh, he's still there, Tom, but he'll wander on.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Yes!
Hell yeah.
Yeah!
He's a good
Cat.
boy.
Good yeah!
Cat. Right. So, having successfully completed the small mission to Jakesh to help kind of free this village, which was being perhaps unknowingly influenced magically through these Eladrin, the Stormchaser makes its way back to Horizon, which is keeping on the move, but you keep in constant communication. And I think that maybe we're going to do some stuff representing the time that you've been spent based on some of the stuff you sent me in a little bit. But as the Stormchaser is traveling, first of all, you notice that after that battle, Sentry, you would have taken a long rest, so it goes away straight away. But after the battle, Sentry was exhausted. As Starbreaker returns to its normal Lance form, you see Sentry overwhelmed with exhaustion, and she would have had a level of exhaustion. Goes away on a long rest, so you're fine. And yeah, it takes a couple of days to travel back to Horizon, but when you do, the great towers of the 4 airship towers with their arcane cannons mounted on the top, the bustling streets of Horizon, this kind of tiered city which kind of slopes upwards and ends in this grand citadel with this blazing halo of fire above it. The massive Ethereum engines which have been installed into the rocky substructure beneath the island itself, kind of roaring and churning the air as Horizon maneuvers through. And it takes Aerois some very deft, controlled movements with the airship to land it whilst Horizon is in motion. However, this is a practice that she's become very practiced at this maneuver. The Stormchaser has been ferrying you guys as well as other troops and forces all over the place. The Stormchaser crew have become veterans in that time. Like, they have become extremely practiced. The entire crew, in fact, have all kind of essentially leveled up as NPCs, right? They've all become very highly practiced and trained. Lookout is now your secondary gunner. So you have Penny and Lookout manning the main cannons on the Stormchaser.
Cool.
The Wolfpack are basically trained for boarding combat now. They no longer engaged in rage combat. So they're now trained for that. If anybody gets on the Stormchaser, they will engage them in melee combat. And they've been practicing, like, training with Ayla and with Sentry and with the Horizon Guards to do so. Kamara is basically a kind of not first mate, but like second officer. She now runs most of the ship as well when other people aren't there, kind of acting as Araya's right-hand woman. when Lucius isn't on board. Meanwhile, all the others remain in place. There have been some exceptions. A couple of the crew have moved more permanently to Horizon, better suiting their abilities. Faith, being one of them, now spends most of her time in Horizon, not with the actual Wolfpack themselves. We'll come to more what Faith's been involved in a little bit. Howard still remains on the ship. Lancian, all of the others are all still there, but they have been doing more work with that. When the airship lands, you are basically brought to, you now have full chambers where everything has been established. You now have like full military quarters in the Citadel, no longer hidden away. All of the wards that you once had still have still remain, but also, and this is something we didn't go over, Lucius and Nova, you now both carry 2 amulets, which Nova had commissioned. They do require attunement. I would highly recommend you find space to attune them to. These amulets, Nova, you had commissioned. You and Azaria Perel worked on these, and these kind of provide a localized effect of those anti-scrying wards, and they are amulets of proof against detection. Basically means you cannot be scryed upon, you cannot be the source of any divine magic. So you are basically protected from any scrying attempts whilst you are wearing and attuned to those items.
All right.
As mentioned, Ayla also has had some upgrades to the Howling Tempest, which has been facilitated. Nova, you worked on a couple of your own little projects and gadgets. I don't know if you want to save those for a surprise one day.
I'd like to think that I got the amulet made in Lucius's colors, so it's just like an extra little fancy, like his amulet's a little bit fancy. But imagine just one day on the Stormchaser, Quill is just standing minding his own business on the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Nova comes running up to him and puts a circular metal device in his hands. Look, I've made this!
Oh no, what is it? It's not another bomb, is it, Nova?
Starts glowing.
It's a bomb,
glowing.
Nova, what is this?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If you don't press the glyphs in the right order, it won't do anything. It won't do anything. Don't throw it. Don't throw it. It took me ages to make that. It's a Magitech grenade.
It's gonna blow then.
I thought it's not. Don't worry about it. It's
It
shaking and
depowers
like
down.
glowing alarmingly.
Oh, okay. It
No,
goes like,
it's getting
and
worse.
then eventually it stops.
Oh, I need to really
That's
work
right.
on making that faster. That needs to go off faster.
What do you mean go off?
Do you want
so
any?
wait, no, you were about to give me an active, grenade you called this? You were about to give me an active, ready-to-blow grenade, and you wanted it to go off quicker?
It's just a fireball spell. It's just a little harmless fireball, like, that you can throw. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So these
Don't do that
function
again.
as scrolls of fireball, so you do still have to be a magic caster to use them. So even though they are designed as like a grenade, we kind of flavored the scrolls so that you basically charge it with magical energy and then you throw it and then it goes off like a fireball spell.
I have a weak bird heart, Nova. A weak bird heart. No more surprises like that.
Look, though, you're fine. You're fine. I'll take it back. I'll just run away.
That could have been the end of me. That could have been it.
Sure.
I've gone.
Okay.
Sentry, I know you had some stuff that did you want to make or that you were working on for the team? Because I saw you asking questions, so I don't know if that was related.
Yeah, Sentry has been spending a lot of time on the Stormchaser, like below decks with Howard and Grey Lano. And she's been asking some very strange questions to the Stormchaser crew, asking what their favorite foods are, what they like, what snackos they enjoy.
What is love?
I'm writing them all down in a little notebook, just scribbling away,
Yeah.
and then disappearing below decks again, and showing Howard, how do I make this? How do I make this?
And you've been over the last couple of months. You have been you have now gained enough proficiency that you can cook those foods, and like a few batches were a disaster. But Howard has been very eager to act as a dummy. He's been like taste testing it all. He was a little sick at the beginning, but then he kind of got fine. He's built up his constitution. But yeah, you've now developed that, and you've been up to a lot of other stuff. But that was just like a little thing. So Sentry occasionally appears with like little snacks of like people's favorite foods and things like that. Not just for you guys, but for the crew as well as they go around. Lucius has been... We'll kind of get into some of this stuff. So when you guys arrive, you have a war room now. So one of the sections of Horizon has been set up with a large table. You've seen this before. Danica has shown you this large kind of like table with illusion magic that can kind of show different things going on. There is also a large board with a number of kind of like priority reports and communications and things like that. And what this is represented by for you guys is I have used a little bit of my friend Matt Colville and MCDM Productions. His team made a book called Kingdoms of Warfare. I've taken some ideas from that, so I don't want people to think I'm going to use the whole system, because I'm not. I've taken bits of it that I really liked, and I've developed my own stuff around it, which is a lot more simple and a bit more tailored to the way that we play. We don't tend to be very wargamey, so it's kind of more of sort of like just a couple of basics to give us some little bit of flavor and feel. Horizon is now what's called a domain. So it is your domain. This is your faction. This is your realm, effectively, right? And what that means is you now have domain skills and domain defenses, and which represent the things that your, forces, your friends, your allies can all do, and sort of represents, things that you want to achieve in the world that are bigger than what one person can do. So if you want to make allies with a country or a faction or a group, that would be represented by the diplomacy skill, which is a skill that your domain has. If you want to spy on what Callus is up to, or what's going on in Vortensar, or what's going on in Gisela, that would be using the espionage skill that your domain has. If you want to research really big topics and like find out, we want to know where the Colossus is. We want to know, is there a way that we can, is there a weakness to, Callus? Is there, all of these things, whether it's magical or like knowledge, that is represented by the lore skill. And then finally, for kind of everything else, but also a lot of the military maneuvers like mustering troops, training troops, deploying forces, you have the operation skill, right? And each of these has a rating, and you can improve those things by either recruiting certain NPCs, spending money, or just achieving certain goals like, hey, we're going to do this and we're going to upgrade our diplomacy now. Like, because we've made friends with this really powerful diplomat, we can boost our diplomacy, et cetera, et cetera.
Cool.
You also have three. This is all from Kingdoms and Warfare so far. You also have 3 defenses. You have communication, resolve, and resources. And these are things that your enemies, Giselle, Vortensar, and the Valkyrian Empire, can attack, and that they can try and get to you guys with, and maybe reduce your resources, or maybe try and capture your forces, or take territories, or deny you diplomacy with other groups. And those can all be improved, and they can be, decreased and things like that as well. So what we're going to do is to kind of represent the stuff that you told me you wanted to do during the downtime. We're going to basically take what I'm going to call a domain turn, and we're going to do this whenever there's like a peak period of downtime. So in between these little story arcs of like fighting the Titans, or going to Vortensar, or going to find the Wild Elves, which are all going to be like little adventures, right? We're going to have them as adventures that you do. We'll have these downtime periods of like time, and that's going to be a domain turn. During a domain turn, you can do up to 6 things, right? So you can do up to 6 big things, and you've given me a big list, so I've actually already got some that we can use as an example, right? And the way that these work is you can think of a way to use those 4 skills: diplomacy, espionage, lore, and operations, and be like, I want to, and this is a good example because this is one of the things that Kim sent. Kim wants to find out what's going in Vortensar. To do that, that's going to be an espionage role, to try and figure out what is going on and get information out of there. Now, when you use these skills, you guys, your characters, aren't the ones doing it, because you guys are being pulled away into fights like you just have. You're being pulled away to make plans, to train, to make magic items, to brew potions, to look after your allies. So instead, you are going to assign a retainer or an agent to that task. And those retainers and agents are all the friends and NPCs you have made along the way. And they can only be sent on one thing per turn. So when you do something, you're going to name an NPC, and that's what they're doing for that, 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, whatever it happens to be, right? And they get a bonus depending on their personality and what they're good at and stuff like that. So if you pick the wrong person, maybe they don't get a very good bonus. Maybe they get a negative. If you pick a good person, they'll get a bonus, and they get a bonus to the roll, right? The other thing to mention is I've given you guys some war assets. So to represent the actual military forces that you guys have control over, I'll send you all this in a document and we'll put it up on like a page so you can see it all. But you currently have the Guardian Army, which is an elite, well-trained, very sturdy army, which is represented by the forces you rescued in the City of Glass. That is a standing army that you have. You have Guardian Scouts, which represents all of the more skirmish and light infantry that you already had some members of. You already knew some Guardians that were part of that. And they're like a scouting force. So you can use them. They won't be able to stand up into a straight fight, but they're good as like an additional support, or they're good to scout an area or to do lots of other things. And then you have the Horizon City Guard, which are a defensive unit. And they are basically permanently locked into Horizon. But if anybody were to attack Horizon, which can happen, they will be the NPCs that are basically holding the line against all of the other enemy forces, right? And again, they'll be there for that. And you also have allies. You know, you've already confirmed that you have a bunch of allies through your diplomatic talks at the council meeting. So far, I'm including the Druids of Mirskir as one of your allies. You have the Sky City of Gusthaven is one of your allies. And the Dragons are one of your allies. Now, these allies, you can call upon to give you a special unit, a war asset. Maybe temporarily. Maybe you know that there's going to be a battle in a certain area, or you want to attack a certain region, and you want to call in the Griffin Cavalry of Gusthaven. You can make a roll to do that and say, we need your forces to support this battle that we're going to go on.
Very cool.
You could also be like, you know what? We could use the dragons to harass Giselle and try and deplete their resources. Rather than having like an actual battle, you can use your allies to boost your skill rolls when you come to do another check. But again, that may have consequences. It may have costs and give you bonuses. It's a lot of information. I know, Tom. I know.
No, it's not. This is awesome. I love this. This is so cool.
The last thing I'm going to mention is whenever you make one of these domain skill rolls, you can spend 1,000 gold to get a +1 bonus, which is to represent you being like, we're going to pay for you to have supplies. We're going to pay for you to go off and, you know, bribe people and do all this other stuff and build fortifications. Like you can spend that money to do that, right?
Awesome.
Cool.
Where do we actually stand financially? Like we've got the party fund, obviously, but like what about it?
Well, the way to think of it is the money that's like Horizon has, that has to go to supplying Horizon. Now, things like you have your personal money. That's what I'm referring to when I say spend 1,000 gold. Horizon has a resources defense, which represents its like gold money, its equipment, its troops, its food, you know, everything that it has available to you. Now, because Horizon is a mobile sky city, its resources are actually quite low because it doesn't have its own farms, it doesn't have its own mines. You do have Arvel Dagus as an NPC, and I've actually given you a +1 to that defense because Arvel is rich and he has lots of money and he can spend that money on stuff. So things like that, like when you have an NPC and maybe it might be like, you're like, hey, do you know who was really awesome? Let's go get that guy. Let's go find such and such because they'd be a great person to bring to Horizon. You can do that and we can make that maybe like an interactive thing, or maybe it happens downtime, but that can be a thing that you do.
To areas.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Stuff like
spy
that.
on Bortensar. Rose Meadow, do you want to just hop along? Hi.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely choose who you want to send. So Rose Meadow, I have as like the person that when you bought, you had like a lot of potions made, right? Like you had a bunch of healing potions. Sentry had a bunch of resistance potions. Rose Meadow was the one who made them, and you basically paid the base price for it. I basically charged you no extra because Rose Meadow is your ally and she's just making them for you. Now she can only make a certain amount in a certain amount of time, but if you give her orders and you want to buy stuff, you're basically paying it at cost. Same with magic items. Azaria Perel does that all for you. Now, some NPCs, like the super powerful ones like Danica and Azaria Perel, they aren't retainers because they have their own shit that they're doing, and they are not like, they don't feel beholden to you in any way. But some NPCs will be under your kind of command. So in terms of your current retainers, I've given you Rain, who's been your advisor here in Horizon, and Rain is an accomplished operations manager. So they have a very good bonus to any operation skills that they go on, because he is used to coordinating things. He is very knowledgeable in warfare, but also in logistics. So Rain is kind of like your general go-to guy for anything military based. Moonstar is going to be your espionage expert. She is willing to go on spy missions and secret stuff and do spying stuff for you. And she's very good at that. She's very stealthy. She has gadgets to help her and things like that. So Moonstar is your espionage agent. The reason that I pulled Faith out, and this is going to tie into something that Lucius was talking about, I'll let Trot talk about that. Faith is actually going to be one of your diplomats. Now, she's not the best at it, but she's very charismatic, and she does have a little bit of training persuasion. So she's good at doing diplomacy things. You know, maybe not the best, but she's good at it. You know, she has a pretty standard bonus. If you wanted to, Arvel can also be used for operations. Again, he's not the best at it, but he has a lot of connections. He has a lot of trade friends and agreements that he can leverage for things. And then the last one I have done is Guinevere, which is Petal. She is the daughter of a very infamous and very, very powerful mage. She's very good at researching and studying and understanding magic. And so I've put her as like a lore-focused retainer or agent. And she has bonuses to doing magical research and looking things up and stuff like that, and developing things like that.
Right. Amazing.
Again, I can repeat all this because like I was working on this. I didn't have a chance to send it all to you, and I wanted to kind of talk about it on the stream. You'll get access to this, and I'll just share you in with the doc, and you can see what you have and everything else, and all of that kind of good stuff.
Yeah,
now,
I mean, it makes sense to me.
In between the downtime, you guys gave me a bunch of stuff. And that's going to translate directly into us using this as a chance to show off this system, but also represent the things you wanted to do. So the first one, Lucius, do you want to talk about the diplomacy with Gusthaven? Do you want to talk about what that was and what Lucius was trying to do?
Yeah. So Lucius has a meeting with Sky Prince Aradan, and he has a thing on his mind in terms of like refugees of, you know, wartime. So, and he knows the history of Gusthaven. He was taught it as a young boy. He feels like he could help lend a hand with his resources and bring on Faith as well as kind of like a diplomatic expert in a sense, helping people basically bring them into Gusthaven using the resources of Gusthaven.
Well, you kind of like Faith is not necessarily as a diplomat. You brought her because, like, you know, she's very good at speaking to people with problems and stuff. Exactly, right? But I think over these months, you know, because this is something that you were doing in between going and fighting battles and coming away and researching other stuff that you wanted to do, like experimenting with the gauntlet and, you know, having magic items and stuff and practicing with your magic and things like that. In between that time, Faith is the one who's been staying in Gusthaven and helping coordinate all of this stuff. And she's been picking up this talent for, like, people. She's very sincere and she's very believable and people find her very honest. But she's also, she's kind of cunning. She knows when she's being lied to and she knows when she's being taken advantage of, which makes her a good diplomat, right? Like, she can figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, what do you want to get out of this? Like, what is the idea for Lucius? Like, Lucius, is it just, like, is the idea that you just want to help people and you want to give, like, them a safe place to go? Because if that was the case, that would be, like, something like, you'd basically be improving the morale of, like, your domain and your allies, right? You'd be establishing that relationship.
Yeah, stronger. I think in a kind of almost like as a symptom or a byproduct of trying to do the right thing, I think it would influence our relations with other people. It's like, yes, we are on the right side of things and we're trying to help civilians and people as a result.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wait. Yeah. So I think for me, I'm going to translate that as what you're going to do there is you can use these skills to boost your defenses, right? And this would be a boost to your resolve because this is like, it's a really good thing. Like, it's a very encouraging and inspiring thing that you're going to do. So what I'd like you to do, Trot, is this is going to be a diplomacy skill, domain skill, which Horizon currently has as a +1. Faith gets a +2 to it. So you're going to roll a d20 +3. Now the DC for these things isn't crazy high, right? To reflect these kind of lower bonuses, that's going to be like the kind of guide for it. Yeah.
So 18 total.
18 is more than enough, and you are already really strong allies with Gusthaven, so this was a really low DC to achieve.
Wow.
It's gonna
for the lore fanatics out there, when Mark originally wrote about the Sky Cities, Gusthaven was one of the original refugee islands, and also created the Accords.
Took in a lot of people. It helped to write the Accords, which created like the rules and regulations of the Sky Cities. But yeah, Gusthaven was the first one to take people from the lowlands. Like, they would basically, as long as they had space, they would take people, you know, up to bolster their own numbers. Yeah.
So it's like
yeah,
to
so I think-
rekindle that state of mind to help in a cataclysmic event that's going on. Let's band everybody together and help those in need.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that, like, you know, with it over those months, Faith's been speaking with nobles of Gusthaven, not just Sky Prince, like going out and speaking to, you know, common people, going out to like people that have got floor space in their kitchen and like saying, you know, would you take people? Like, there's this war is going to start having casualties, and we're going to need places to send the sick and the injured and people that can't fight. Like, would you take them? And like, she really spends a lot of time going around doing that. And Prince Aradan, who you have a really good relationship, is fully on board with the idea. And I think that we see this scene where like Lucius, who is like the representative, meets with Sky Prince. You shake hands. There's like a big ceremony, and Gusthaven, basically agrees that they're gonna basically act as like a spillover, like a field hospital or like a place for people to take refuge.
Can we throw open the doors of the Grand Cathedral of Siasco as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, everybody, the city is definitely enthused by the idea, and like it boosts the morale of Horizon as well. I'm going to give you guys a +1.
It's taken a beat
to
in
your
itself,
resolve
right?
defense. Yeah, so that's the other thing I was going to mention, actually. At the end of the City of Glass, Horizon had really suffered like damage and casualties and things like that because they were kind of tanking the battle in the air above the City of Glass. That's all been worked on. You know, the other thing with the Guardians is you had tons of artisan Guardians, you know, carpenters, builders, masons. They all came up to Horizon and have completed the work super fast. Like, they have helped to work and rebuild the city really quickly, which is kind of, again, like earned the thing. And as a note, all of your defensive and bonuses for Horizon, I worked out based on things that you'd already done, things that Horizon already was. So you're starting with a slightly better domain than what the Kingdoms and Warfare stuff would have given you. So yeah, awesome. So Lucius, that's kind of like one of the things that you did, and that's the conclusion of it. Like, you've bolstered your defenses. If Valkyrian or any of your, or Giselle or Vortensar tries to try and diminish your morale, it's going to be a little bit harder now because you've kind of done this amazing thing that like people are really sort of hyped and excited for. Ayla, this is an interesting one. So Ayla, Katie, you talked about wanting to go and spend time with the Wild Elves and trying to recruit them into the whole thing. So do you want to just like, do you have any ideas for like what that was like or anything like that?
I think she would have just wanted partly to obviously recruit people to help in the upcoming fights and battles and stuff, and the Wild Elves are definitely the people to do that. But also part of her wanted to see how many more of her people had her kind of abilities or powers or like because she's met a couple of people who do, but doesn't really know the full scale of it.
Know
so
how
I think she would have gone
widespread.
Yeah. So probably just a bit of kind of personal catching up with where the majority of her people are, and also then trying to recruit them, probably spending some time also giving them like they're fighters anyway, but giving them more fighting tips, because obviously
you have
she's
experience.
Been up against Hadar and Starbane forces, so like any extra experience that Ayla has gained, she wants to then pass on to the rest of the Wild Elves and try and sort of just strengthen that relationship. And probably part of that is making sure that the people in the cities that they go to, like Horizon and Gusthaven, that there used to sort of be this stigma against Wild Elves being like horribly violent and everything, and just no good.
Certainly more common in the lowlands.
Yeah. So I guess she wants to just sort of make sure that their reputation is on the up, because they are doing a lot of good. So
I think that given the world situation right now, like a lot of that prejudice is definitely not dispelled, but again, it was mainly in the lowlands, in places like Suvona. The Sky Cities, right now, they'll take any help they can get. Like they are more than happy, and they know that the Wild Elves are really strong fighters as well. So I think this is twofold. First of all, with regards to your abilities, it's incredibly rare. Like spending time with like Wild Elves. Now, Wild Elves tend to be quite nomadic and roaming, so it's hard to like find big groups of them. And even the ones that you've spoken to, the ones that live in the tundra, the northern parts of Al Saraf, very hard to track down. You know that they're aware of you, and they did say that they would reach out to you and that they would, try and arrange some sort of thing to try and connect with these strange gods and these powers that you have with. You've not heard from them yet, but you have met with lots of different groups, and yeah, it's very rare to find ones with your sort of abilities, and they're always new to them, like you used to be. None of them display any sort of familiarity or expertise with them, and in fact, that's where your training, like you help them, you know, harness those powers and understand them and recognize them and things like that. In terms of recruiting more wild elves, this would be another diplomacy check. This is basically trying to recruit an ally to the fight, right? Like to try and bring an ally into Horizon. You can't send Faith. Is there anybody else that you can think of that you would want to use as a retainer? I only put the ones I could think of. But if there's other people that you can think of or that you think would be willing to help you in this, they may work as a bonus. Otherwise, it's just going to be a flat roll because you're not going to really have somebody leading this effort.
What about Rethra? Like, if you can find him.
Yeah.
The fire elf we forgot.
Yeah, Rethra wasn't much of a speaker, but he would have a connection to other wild elves, and he would understand the Valkyrian Empire. I don't think he'd be a very good diplomat, but he would still get a bonus.
What about Sana?
Yeah, you can definitely reach out to Sana. Again, she would be more than happy to do that. Again, not the best diplomat, but you know, still more fighter. That's the problem. Is Ayla's friends tend to be fighters, not talkers. But you can still send them. Like, it just means that they won't get, you know, the best bonus. But I'll also put them down as a potential agent for the future. So you've got another person down. I mean, I'll put Sana down anyway because I think Sana is a good one to have. And then
Rethra. What do you guys think? Do you think there's anyone else?
Yeah, I'm trying to think who can talk to the wild elves, and
I think
so here's the thing.
better to do a
Reminder:
fighter.
it can't be you
Kind of.
guys, right? Like,
Yeah.
it has to be, because you guys don't have time to like speak with everybody. Whereas these NPCs do have that time. You're being pulled away to do stuff. You're being pulled away to go on fights, to train troops, to make things, to, you know, fix the ships and stuff like that. Like, this has to be NPC led, because otherwise your bonuses are just going to blow this stuff out the water, right? So there's also a little bit of game mechanics to kind of get around it. But this also makes sense with the, you know, you guys are busy. You guys are like the Avengers.
Yeah.
You don't have time to sit in meetings 7 days a week.
I think she would maybe send Rethra, but given that he has abilities like she does and like some of the other elves do, and
Just
also
he has a connection.
he has a connection, and he's been with us through I mean, a lot. He's traveled very far with us.
Yeah.
And
You
he's
rescued
seen
him. He owes you his life.
Yeah, I think it's just sort of I think that the wild elves would probably, in Ayla's mind, respond better to a fellow wild elf who is a fighter coming
100%.
to them rather than someone like Faith, who they're like, don't know you. Who are you? So I
Absolutely.
think probably Rethra.
Okay. All right. In that case, I'd like you to roll a d20 for me. You're going to add +1 for Horizon's diplomacy, which is +1. And I'd say add +2. Rethra normally wouldn't get a +2. I think he'd only get a +1. But because of the Wild Elf connection, I'm going to increase it to a +2.
Yeah, that
So I
makes
rolled a
sense. So +3.
13, so I get 16 to
16. So I think that the Wild Elves, you know, they understand the threat of Valkyrian. It's been passed through their history that their ancestors used to fight in the first war against Valkyrian, and they are more than happy to fight again against Valkyrian. Basically, what that's going to be represented by is I'm going to give you guys a new war asset, which is going to be Wild Elf Commandos, who are going to be an elite force built around kind of stealth and hit and run tactics. Now, this is provisional. If anything bad were to really happen to that unit, like if they all get slaughtered, or if, like, you know, something really bad goes happen, that might cause disruptions with the Wild Elves in the future. But for now, that unit is yours permanently. Like, it's like a, you know, it's permanently with you. It's not a temporary one. They are basically at your command to use. But if anything really happens to them, that might be bad. And that goes for your retainers as well. As a point, rolling really low can have consequences on some of this stuff. Probably for the NPCs you send along. Not necessarily always killed, but maybe captured, maybe injured. Stuff like that can happen to them. So But yeah, so Rethra, after spending time, like you go initially and you and Rethra kind of meet with a couple of wild elf tribes. You spend some time with them, but you are called back. There's big battles to go fight. You need to train some of the troops in Horizon and things like that. And Rethra stays and he spends time with the wild elves, which he'd already been doing. And he begins to formulate. He tells stories around campfires of the rescue from Grat's casino planet and stuff like that. He talks about like the fights he's seen you do. He's talked about the evil of the Valkyrian Empire, and he's stoked up the Wild Elves' sense of injustice. He's told them about Alfheim and their history. And again, this has all kind of led to this kind of fervor. And when you kind of come back with the Stormchaser, the Wild Elf, one of their chiefs, this tall woman who wears like a kind of crown of antlers, meets with you, Ayla. And you both like cut your hands, and there's like a clasping of hands as like a kind of symbol of, warriors' blood united against this common enemy, and a platoon of these wild elf commandos. And they're covered in sort of like natural organic, cloaks made from like leaves and things like that. And when they step into the woodlands, they just vanish, just completely invisible. Or like covered in like face paint and mud and stuff like that. Very badass. Cool.
Amazing.
Nice. Nova. Do you want to talk about... I can just say Nova. Do you want to talk about what you want to do?
How long have we got? No, so the main thing that I wanted
specifically
to do...
with the Vortensar stuff.
Yeah, just on a side note, I mentioned earlier that Tiangong looks bigger. So I had Nova basically join the expedition. So if you remember, I asked Arvel to send an expedition to the mountains behind Goldthrone, the Orc Peaks, to find that shard that I was on the way to get when we crashed at the very first episode. So we successfully recovered the shard, and that's why Tiangong is powered up now, and there's a few extra spells and things and bits and pieces that they can do now.
Yes.
The main thing that I want to do in terms of war assets and stuff like that is basically espionage in Vortensar. Nova is very concerned about what is happening there. Doesn't like what her parents were saying about the kind of propaganda and the way that Vortensar turned and voted to join the Valkyrian Empire. So she wants to find out how did that happen? Like why? Like how did they manage to get I guess turn to the dark side, as it were? And is there anything that she can do to start turning it back, kind of sowing those seeds of like, this is not like the best thing that you've done here. Like I know that you want to go home, but joining the Valkyrian Empire, So that was my idea. I had a few in-character ideas, but I didn't know whether or not to mention them now because there's like certain things that I had as Nova's kind of story that we might discover if we go there.
I would say hold off on like anything that you want to do, like go there. Like you don't have time to go to Vortensar. Vortensar is locked down. There's no way Nova could get in. That's the other thing as well, right? Like you guys are really well known, even with invisibility and disguises. Like you acting on your own as independent agents would be very bad. But you can definitely send people in to do this. So anything like go into Vortensar, because that's going to be a thing. We're going to do a proper like adventure where you guys go to Vortensar and do that stuff. But before then, you might want to do some sneaky spyings. So So I guess like before we make a domain move then, Kim, what's the goal? Do you want to destabilize Vortensar and kind of push back against the propaganda and maybe weaken them as a domain? Do you want to know certain specifics? Do you want to ask a question and be like, I want to know what kind of troops they have. I want to know if the Seekers are active in the city. I want to know, like, are there certain things like that? Or do you want to try and weaken them in some way? Because that's what espionage is really good for. It's either asking questions about your enemy, or it's about weakening them, basically, and like disrupting so like you could basically try and disrupt their communications. You could try and disrupt their supplies. You can try and weaken their resolve. You can do one of the three.
I don't know if this could be represented by a thing, but I almost want to weaken their alliance to the Valkyrian Empire. So kind of just, I almost
Absolutely.
get them
So that
to
would be
start
resolve.
thinking, like,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Okay.
perfect example of what the resolve defense would be good for. Like you trying to sow the seeds of like, look, you're being misled. Like you don't know what you're fighting for. You don't know what Valkyrian really is. And that would be an attempt against their resolve to try and weaken it. Cool.
Yeah.
Right. In that case, so you're gonna make an espionage roll. Now, I've given you an example. Like you can send Moonstar, who's a good espionage agent. But you don't have to. If you can think of an NPC who is really close to the party and owes you something. That's the kind of conditions for an NPC being a retainer or an agent, right?
Okay.
Is they've got to be somebody that is actually quite close to you guys, and also somebody who would want to repay you in a big way, like somebody who would want to go on these dangerous missions for you. They can't just be a person you've met. They have to be somebody that, you know, actually would willingly throw their life down for you.
So a couple of names popped up for me. One was Tornado,
Yep.
my brother, but obviously we don't know where he
don't know
is,
where
so I
he
don't know
is
if I
yet.
can really use him. Okay.
Not yet. But that would be,
yeah.
I'll tell you something though, Kim, finding Tornado is a really good use of espionage lore. So like you could task somebody with like, I need to find where my brother is. Can you help me find him? Perfect use of those domain skills as well. But we can come to that. We're going to do the ones that everybody sent in, and then we'll have a spare one left. So we can do that later. But that's a cool thing to do with that.
What's Perry up to?
Dead.
You don't know. Yeah, Perry is not available to you. So think of it as like somebody who's like available to you guys, somebody who you know where they are, somebody who like is easily accessible. Unfortunately, Perry, again, you've heard nothing about. Don't know where he is. Don't know what's going on with him. I don't want to say he's dead.
You don't know?
We're pretty
I just don't
sure.
know.
My other idea was actually my mom, but I worry that sending her, given that she's a known, like,
The
because she's a cornerstone of that
Steven
community,
Seagal's
right?
self. Yeah.
So like, you know, like, wow, let's not. That guy's an asshole.
No, I mean,
but,
I see where you're coming from, 100%.
Yeah.
Your mother's not a trained spy, but there is definitely some bonus there for sure.
I think if Lucius overhears you suggesting,
Yeah, like
sending
you guys
your
all
mum,
know what you're all doing. Yeah.
it's like perhaps someone more adept at, you know, if they get into ropey situations and whatnot. I dread to think of your mum
My
being
dad?
in that sort of no, none of your family. How about
No, for the love of God, Nova. Jesus Christ, they cannot. No, they can't fight.
No.
Please, no.
let's leave your family aside from espionage and potentially disrupting all of Vortensar and all that. They can lead happy lives, safe. Nanny
Let's bring in-
Norfear, my nanny.
Let's bring in Lucius's family instead.
She is
That's your family.
she is family to me, yes. However, she's highly skilled and trained at this sort of thing.
Yeah.
She is equipped to deal with
Okay.
this.
Norfear is an elite espionage agent. I'd forgotten about Norfear, so I will add Norfear.
She's been a double agent my whole life.
Are you sure, Lucius?
Yeah.
'Cause-
No, that's the
don't
thing.
Send
It's
your
like
family.
100%
Send mine instead,
Yeah.
please.
mine.
Take
Yeah.
We're trained, you're
this
not.
is your family. I don't know. My mom can make a mean pizza. No, yeah, I think that's probably the better idea. I also, yeah, I don't think sending my family would perhaps be the best idea because I feel like they'd be arrested as soon as they walked in through the gates,
weird.
just for being my family.
They are known, yes.
So, yeah, that's a
I
really
don't
good
I don't
idea.
know my nanny
Thank you,
fully.
Lucius.
I'm come to terms with that now that she's led a double life. And therefore she's the perfect choice.
Wow,
She's a
there's
badass,
a lot to
that's,
unpack there.
We know that.
Let's
There's
keep it
a lot
all
to
wrapped
unpack.
up.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not hard to. I mean, yeah, you can get in contact with Norfish. She's been doing work. She was spying on the Cloud Barons and stuff like that. But you can resummon her.
I'm sure
if you'd like to
Idea
send
would know
Norfear,
as well.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Adair definitely knows. Cool. In that case, the domain you have for Horizon, I actually gave them a +2 in espionage because I knew that this is something you wanted to do anyway. But also, Danica has her own agents for things like this, so they already have like systems and things like that. Not particularly impressive. So you have a +2 from the domain, and Nanny Norfear, I'm going to give a +4 to espionage.
Ooh.
She's very good at this stuff. This is like her thing that she does. So this is going to be a +6. And it's against, and unlike it, this isn't like a normal DC. This is going to be against Vortensar's
entire
defense,
domain.
basically.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a counter roll, their espionage against yours with their espionage agents. Yeah. So this is a contested roll. No.
Okay.
Where's
Cool.
my dice? I need a dice.
Natural 20.
Fucking great. Unless I roll a natural 20.
I'll
I'll tell you what.
I'm
I'll
in
tell you
there.
what. Fucking. Well, so yeah. So I rolled a 19. So with bonuses, you're still gonna win. Which means what that means is you basically because you beat their defense, right? You beat their defense. You're gonna lower. Now normally you would only lower their defense by 1. Because you rolled a natural 20, and this is part of Kingdoms of Warfare, you lower it by 2.
Hey.
So they currently have a -2 to their resolve. And also, because you beat them on the contested roll, they don't know what agents are doing this. They can probably guess that it's you guys, but they don't know how you're doing it, and they don't know the agents, right?
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, so you get reports back. Now, this is all secret communications and things like that. Norfear goes, in various ways. You get communications back that they've basically begun. They've met up with an internal group called the Seekers, who are trying to kind of get to the bottom of things and uncover the truth of what's happening in Vortensar. They are... Norfear does send a message back. You probably would get this as a sending spell. Nova, my dear. Request mission parameters. Am I permitted to eliminate substantial targets?
Define targets.
Hell yeah, badass. Glitter kill.
She would just say this like high-ranking members of government who are in bed with Valkyrian, promoting propaganda amongst the city base.
Wow.
Valkyrian loyalists, basically.
Valkyrian
Alan has to send their
loyalists.
regards.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could
Something
say
personnel
like,
kit.
don't fucking
Oh.
kill them. Just like
Yeah.
kidnap them or something. Like, don't. You can put a no assassination,
in at night.
no disintegrations. Yeah, shit, dude. Norfear was
Dagger
a
in one hand.
legit assassin. Like, killing people is like, she's just like, well, it's the simplest solution. Like, they can't
Incredible.
get up to trouble if they're dead.
I'm in awe.
Hush,
Um,
Lucius, don't say a word. I'll kill anyone who comes near you.
She wipes some like blood off my cheek that's from a recently used dagger. Hush, hush.
See, she Simba's you
Lucius.
with blood. Bloody thumb.
It's gone.
Wow,
Nova wanted to
Nova.
do this in a non-fatal way because
Sure.
she's concerned that killing members of the council would make
Well, this probably wouldn't be
Ganas
council members. This
turn
would be
against
like
us. Okay.
people serving the council. She's not going to be able to like start killing leaders of the nation straight away. This would be like high-ranking, like local people and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, if you send that
She'll
back,
need
she
a
just
couple more
says,
days. A couple more days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
those like higher up. Yeah.
Norfear
Overlord.
just responds back like, understood. No fatalities.
Oh,
No
he
fatalities.
responds. Oh,
Puts the piano
Shut up.
wire away.
Again, Norfear is used to like working. Like she would normally take a client that she'd work for somebody. It used to be Lucius's father and like the nobles of Gusthaven. But like no, like she'll take orders. Like she's just like, yeah, fair enough. You don't want to kill people, that's fine. It makes my job a bit harder, but I can do that. And yeah, she just responds and says,
it's
yeah,
easier
no
for
problem.
her.
So when we
Cool.
get our full Aerois animated TV show on Prime/Netflix, whoever will pay the most of
Whoever
course.
picks it up, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do an origin stories of all of our like retainers and NPCs, right?
Okay, not Nickelodeon.
Norfear's
then,
is
Oh.
dark.
because
It's
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
not on Nickelodeon.
Maybe a movie then. A movie deal.
Yeah, this is the Black Widow movie.
Norfear
for sure.
Origins.
Cool. All right. So Nova, this is like an ongoing process, right? So right now that domain is weakened, and maybe next week or maybe the next time we take a domain turn, I will give you like more information and you'll kind of see that. But right now you can know that they are weakening the hold of Valkyrian on on Vortensar. Now
Awesome.
when we finish, I'm going to take a domain turn for your enemies, and I might be able to like increase that, or I might be able to strike back at you guys and do that other stuff, right? So as a point, and I'm going to make this clear now, Giselle and Vortensar, they're a little, Giselle is a bit bigger than Horizon. Vortensar is about the same size as a power faction, right? The Valkyrian Empire is very big compared to you guys, but it's limited in how much it can bring to bear. So if you guys, I think I put you guys as a size rating of 2. Vortensar is also a 2. Giselle is about a 3. The Valkyrian Empire is a 6. It is so much more influential and powerful, but it can't bring its full weight to bear just yet. It's limited in what it can do. Yeah.
Holding up for now.
So just as a point. Right, let's move. So Quill, this was actually something Sentry wanted to do as well, but I'm going to make it your thing, Quill. You wanted to improve communications and stuff like that, but also do like scrying and lore stuff. So what do you think you want to do? If you've got 1, 2, 3, you've got 3 of these like domain actions left, like between you for this downtime. What would you like to do? Like work on the communications, like improving those between the allies, or do more lore-y stuff?
I would. I think in the time that we've had, I would probably spend some time returning to the Aarakocran homelands above the Valley of Storms and all of that, because Mother Kalar mentioned that the Messenger Guild was in a bit of a disarray at the meetings, and I think I'd want to not rebuild that, but rejuvenate that in some way and assist in any way I can with sending, with message, with scrying, with the Eye of the Storm Port, and all these different things in some way to rebuild communications in the Messenger Guild homeland. So I'd spend some time with Mama Kalar, finally, and also as a personal thing, as like a personal growth thing, I think spending time in Hesper territory, I would try and sort of grow a connection with, I guess, not Hesper anymore, but now Siaska. So as a personal growth thing, that's something I would do there too. But yeah, ultimately working on communications, sending messages, assisting in that way, get forces in the right places, get people where they need to be in this entire war effort.
I think that's perfect.
That's my plan.
So that would basically be increasing your communications defense. That's what it's going to be represented by. How do you want to go about that? So, some of the skills are really obvious. Like Nova wants to spy on stuff. That's an espionage check. Lucius and Ayla wanted to make allies. That's diplomacy. With stuff like boosting your communications defense, it's up to you how you want to do that. So like, are you going the more magical route by using like scrying and things like that to try and bolster it? That would be a lore bonus. If you want to try and make it more of like a physical operation, like military operations, like organizing their routes, organizing the way that communication is transported, putting people in charge, that's more of an operations thing. You could also maybe enlist the aid of other groups like the Dragons or Gusthaven, and that would be more of a diplomacy thing. You could maybe make it so it's an espionage thing and say like, we're going to do all coded communications now so that our enemies can't, figure out what we're doing. This is like where your creativity can come into it. Like, you tell me what of those 4 things is the way you're approaching this bolstering of communication.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, the Messenger Guild is like this global erosion thing that is like a service for all to use.
It's a guild. Yeah.
And it would be a huge effort to make it work, but making it something that Gisela now no longer has this asset anymore. Like, it's like a privatized thing within this war effort on our side, and they now have no access to the Aarakocra. I mean, it does mean turning the Aarakocrans and the entire Messenger Guild to our side, but I mean, if that's something you can do, that would be pretty big.
That is something you can do. For me, that is basically using diplomacy. Basically, you're going to use diplomacy to speak to the Aarakocra and the Messenger Guild and say, you need to stop helping them. Like, they are now our enemies, and we do not help them anymore. Like, you are not neutral, Messenger Guild. You are with us. You are with the Horizon Alliance now. So that would be a diplomacy. I think that would be using a diplomacy check. And do you have an idea of a retainer or an agent?
I mean, it does feel a little cheap to use Mama Kalar, because, I mean, It's
think
like obviously she's okay to help me out because she's Mama Kalar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But, I mean, she's like high up in the Messenger Guild in some
Yeah.
form.
Absolutely.
Like,
she has a little bit of experience with diplomacy and operations. I'd say, not the best, but pretty good. She does have that connection to the Messenger Guild. The other thing is, I don't mind using Mama Kalar because if you roll really badly, something bad happens to us. So it's all it balances out.
You know what? That makes me want to use
Let's
it
get
even
the
more.
whole family involved.
Let's
Get
have the whole
everyone's
family.
family involved.
Horizon's domain bonus to diplomacy is +1. I would say Marika would normally have a +2. Let's make it a +3 because she's dealing directly with the Messenger Guild, which she has authority in. So this is going to be a +4 bonus total.
+4 to a regular D20. 18.
18, yeah. I mean, I'm waiting for that one. Marika basically spends that time speaking with individual members of the Messenger Guild, speaking to nations, speaking to countries. And at the end of it, you kind of rejoin her for this final kind of talks. Marika delivers this speech, which is to the essence of, they are our enemies now. We cannot work with them. We cannot sit on the fence of this conflict. Our skills will ensure victory for the true inheritors of this planet. And there is this big sort of like, she's right. We need to go with Marika's plan and with Quill's plan. And they agree to it, basically. And
cool, amazing.
Marika here. So that's going to increase your communications defense by +1. Wasn't a natural 20.
Theirs.
It doesn't reduce theirs. So the way it want to work is like they will have their own network of communications that aren't going to rely on the Messenger Guild. You're basically just turning the Messenger Guild to only benefit you, which is going to give you a bonus, but it doesn't take anything away from them because they'll have their own systems in play. So like you did before the Messenger Guild came onto your side. So, but that's still a good thing. Having a plus to these defenses is really handy. Cool.
At the start of the war, it makes sense to work on defense rather than attacking right at this moment.
Yeah, and it's I don't want to do like full warfare because like from the MCDM book, like there is a whole thing of like units and combat. I'm not going to go into that stuff. We're going to resolve battles just more like you're going to send units and maybe we make some simple dice rolls based on those units and what bonuses, kind of like we're doing now. But you'll pick and choose where those fights take place. Or it will be more like an XCOM where I'll say like, oh no, Valkyrians are attacking this town. You better send a cool squad to go and help them. And then like we send a squad, right? And then you go and do that stuff. So
we'll cross that bridge.
Cool. So that's 4 of your 6 domain actions used. Sentry, you had a lot of stuff you wanted to do, and all of it could be any of these things. It was like, I want to work on communications with the dragons. I want to train all of the forces in Horizon. I want to send scouting units to go and find the other teleportation circles and arcs and destroy them. It was like you had like a big list of stuff. So for now, do you want to just pick one thing that Sentry wanted to do, and we'll pick that one?
I think after the recent encounter we've just had, I think setting up Guardian patrols around trade routes and trade towns is probably going to be on my mind the most.
We need a Guardian in every
lowlands,
city.
Like bolstering the Harvest Guard, protecting routes around like Gusthaven, Port Serrano, around there.
An armored shell around the world. I mean that is a perfect example of the operation domain skill. So that's like a more military bent. Do you have an idea of who you would like to assign to it for organizing that kind of thing? So this isn't necessarily somebody who's leading it. This is somebody who's coordinating it from Horizon mainly.
Yeah.
So
Rain would be good.
Yeah, Rain's like, this is exactly what Rain is kind of not built for, because he's not a Guardian, but this is what he's trained for, like coordinating military units and understanding logistics, transporting troops using the airships and air skiffs to get people where they need to go. He's more than happy to help you coordinate with this. Operations is actually one of your strongest abilities. It's a +2, but it's on its way to becoming a +3. So operations base is a +2. And then Rain has a +4 to operations. This is exactly what he's designed for. So this is a D20 +6.
Watch this drive.
21.
Hey.
21.
Thank God for that.
So actually, I should have asked this before the roll. So you want to set up these patrols. What's the goal of the patrols? Is this to protect the resources of Aerois and the Alliance? Is this to protect things like that? Or is this to just fend off like Valkyrian attacks and things like that? What's the actual, like, what do you want to get out of this?
Yeah, so it's to protect mostly the trade routes, to keep cargo safe from like maybe the potential Wind Baron attacks, Valkyrian attacks, keeping supply routes safe.
Like even like looters or like people who are just going to take advantage of, like, you know, this kind of chaos, really, like this upcoming chaos. That's perfect, because that's easily represented by the resources defense of Horizon. So we can just basically improve the defense of that. So we can just give you a +1 for that roll.
Awesome.
To represent you sending these additional forces to protect that stuff. Cool. So does that make sense? Like, it's very abstract because there's a lot of room for creativity, right? Like, you can use these 4 skills, you have these 3 defenses, and I'm going to do stuff to you. You can do stuff to, like, the enemy factions. You have the war assets that are going to be useful when you want to, like, actually fight stuff, which I'm going to maybe do next domain turn because I need to figure it out a bit more. You have the allies and stuff like that. Any questions about any of this stuff?
Yeah. How often do these things actually take place, or is it just when we have downtime we'll use these things? Or how long do these events, these actions take to complete?
The time exactly will vary. The idea is that in between these big story arc stuff that we're going to do, so like the way and we'll get to this because we're about to, we've got a little bit more time, but the idea is the next thing you guys are going to do is probably go after one of the Titans, because Valor has found one of them. Once you come back from that fight, because that will probably be a little mini dungeon. When we come back from that, which might be like a couple of sessions or something like that, when you come back from that, we'll probably do like another month goes by of this stuff, right? And we'll do another domain turn. Then maybe, you know, depending on stuff that happens, maybe that's when you go to Vortensar. Maybe that's when you go to Al-Saraf to meet with the Wild Elves that want to speak with Ayla. We'll do another sort of mini dungeon thing there. Then we'll do like another month or 2 months of the domain downtime. More stuff happens.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So on and so forth and so on and so forth, right? Does that make sense?
I was going to say with the 6th action we've still got, like, maybe, I mean, Valor has found a Titan now, sure, but like using Petal as a retainer to assist in the lore of Valor's like research and discovery of these things as well. But
the one thing I'm going to put that's the one thing you can't use lore for, because Valor is the only one who can do this. Right. The Titans have divine magic that mortals, that like a mortal mage could not find these pocket dimensions. Even looking at the lore of the Titans, even understanding their history isn't going to help you find them. Valor is the only one who can and break into the space. Most often, Valor can find them easily enough. It's learning how she can break into their dimension. And it also serves as a way of me padding that time out, where I can just say, Valor's found another one, you better go and do it now. Like, you know, it's a bit gamey, but the idea is that Valor is the only one who can do the Titan
That makes
stuff.
sense to me.
Now, Petal, like, you know, if you want to research things like, oh, we want to, you know, for example, I know Lucius wants to do some research onto dispelling Hadar energy and stuff like that. That is something that maybe Petal can help with, because there are, you know, you have resources and things like that now. It's actually more of a kind of dealing with an energy source rather than it is like finding a divinely hidden pocket plane. Or it could be things like, do we know if Callus has any weaknesses? Because like you just captured a Summer Eladrin. You're going to have your soldiers will find prisoners, will capture intel. That might give you clues to that stuff. It just depends on what you roll and how hard it is, you know, depending on the information you want. Things like, does Callus Starbane have a weakness? Probably going to be a very high DC to achieve that. But if you want to do things like, hey, can we find out any intel on where that fucking Warforged Colossus is? That could be a thing that you can use the lore check for. You know, stuff like that.
I mean, there's also Gisela, like that entire continent we haven't even thought about. There's
There's definitely, I would say that the 2 months after the flight from the City of Glass, Gisela is not very happy. They basically believe they have all the rights in the world, that you are the villains. You came into their land and you attacked their military forces, and you've stolen, a bunch of traitors and all this kind of stuff. They are playing the victims in all of this.
They were attacking the city. Whatever, screw those guys.
Well, City of Glass is on
also-
their turf. Like, that's their property, is the way they see it. Is like, that's ours. We can do what we want.
There was also, I've completely forgotten his name now in the meetings, who was saying, if anything changes, we'll join your side.
Yeah, that would be the Grand Strategist of Zefena.
Grand Strategist, yeah.
Mhm.
So maybe that could be the sixth action of communicating with this dude, getting him on side.
Figure this is like an in-character discussion, like you guys in the war room, right? Like figuring out, this other thing that you guys want to do as part of this break that you took.
I think that's a brilliant idea. I feel like we have more than enough evidence that could turn the tide for them, make their decision up.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gained an entire Guardian army and a flying city and a successful attack. Well, defense from Gisela, all the allies we've made. I think that must be enough for the Grand Strategist now.
We've made some very impressive steps forward.
Okay.
We could also give them the information about Zalkira siding with Hadar, because if a leader is not able to control his own forces and his own lieutenants, and that's a pretty big sign of weakness, frankly.
Well, I will tell you this: you do not need to spend an action to send this kind of information to the Grand Strategist. You can get this information to them, and the Grand Strategist's response is thus: I am very compelled by your arguments and by the evidence of which I've been presented, but also the occupation of my own city. It seems that sitting on the fence is not something that this Valkyrian takes lightly. I am more than happy to lend my aid to your cause, if only I am able to escape my own palace. If you can send forces to help me, what's the word I'm looking for? Extract me and bring me to Horizon, my forces are yours. I would be glad to count you as an ally for a timely rescue. Though I am not being ill-treated, I am also not permitted to leave. Something I find too uncomfortable for my own tastes. So, what this means is, Zefena is a big continent. It's south of Jakesh. What this means is, rather than, again, you guys trying to get him out could be an adventure. Like, we could make that a thing that you do. Or you could also try and send one of your war assets to extract the Grand Strategist. Which will save you time, because it means you can do other stuff. Yeah, you've got one action left. So this would be an operation. Yeah.
I mean, also, before we go too far with this, was there anything else anyone wanted to do with this last action? Just in case there was research or something like that?
I think there's lots of things, but you'll get another one of these where you'll get another 6 actions and stuff. You get to decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, in terms of who we use...
Yeah.
We have...
So with this one, this won't be one of your agents this time. This will be one of your war assets.
Oh, okay.
So this would be like a military force, right? So this would be your Guardian Army, your Guardian Scouts, or the newly acquired Wild Elf Commandos. Those are the 3, because Horizon Guard can't be sent on missions. They are locked to Horizon. They are here to protect the city.
Well, the Wild Elf Commandos are stealth and skirmish.
Yeah. Stealth and smash and grab, so that sounds good, right?
In a city, though.
That's the difficulty,
Not
yes.
great in a
Like, I mean, Zefena does have jungle areas. The city itself will be, cultured and stone, and it will be like a place. Yeah.
Also lowlands, wild elves, cities they don't do
Perhaps
great with.
Guardian Scouts, then?
Yeah.
So
I guess there's also the dragons, but like this isn't a blow up and burn kind of job.
No, so that's the other thing is if you want, you could actually try and recruit one of your allies. So if you want, you could try and use diplomacy to get the dragons to go and do this mission instead. So rather than you making an operations roll, you basically make a diplomacy check and then I make a roll for the dragons to see what they do.
See.
But their units are generally pretty good. So the 3 that you have access to is the Druids of Mirskir have a special unit of what they call healers or land shapers. So they can actually do a lot of rebuilding the terrain and stuff like that. The city of Gusthaven, sorry, has Griffin cavalry, large regiment of Griffin cavalry. And then the dragons, their special unit I've just called War Dragon, which is you get a fucking dragon. You get a big ass fucking dragon.
Holy shit.
It's like fully armored and
Oh, cool.
It's not quiet. It's not quiet.
It's
That
not
one.
quiet. It's powerful, but not quiet.
It'll probably do it, but or
that's
again,
also
we
the
do it
other thing is
ourselves.
if you fail on the diplomacy, that means you can't send a unit this domain turn. If you fail on the diplomacy roll to convince the dragons, it means that they're like, sorry, we don't think this is a valuable use of our time. We do want to be allies, but we can't commit to this mission. So it could be a waste. So it's like a gamble. Ooh, what's it gonna be?
Anyone got any particular favorites on strategy for this plan? I do kind of want to send a dragon, though.
Yeah,
I think,
Storm Dragon is cool.
but I think it's a bit much.
Dragon.
It's a bit much.
It's a bit much.
I don't think
a little
it's a
bit.
thing for a dragon.
I personally think
I think
Guardian
this is the thing.
Scouts.
Yeah, I think scouts are probably
Yeah.
an approach.
So I'll tell you the kind of I'm giving each of these war assets just keywords. I'm not giving them stats. I'm just giving them keywords, and then certain keywords I'll be like, yeah, that keyword kind of fits. I'll give them a bonus. The Guardian Scouts are elite, which means that they just inherently get a flat bonus because they're really good. They're trained at what they do, and then they have adaptable, which means that they're very good at chaotic situations or things that need to rapidly change because they've got all these different purposes and skills and tools and stuff that they can use for it.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that works then, I think.
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
Guardian Army has elite, so they're an elite unit as well. And then they have something called Stalwart, which means they're very good at defending things. They're very good at holding a region. They're not that great at attacking, but they are really good at just keeping a place defended. That's kind of the Guardian's whole thing. The Guardian Army, the Guardian soldiers. They hold the line.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, do you want to send
mean,
the scouts?
Scouts work, I think. Yeah, that should do it.
Yes.
All right.
Send in the scouts.
Who wants to make the D20 roll on this? Who wants to be the one
Reed
to roll?
does.
Rhiannon.
The Prime wants to make the roll.
So don't forget, you can spend 1,000 gold to give a +1 bonus. And there's no critical failures. Well, there is a critical failure. But, yeah, it's not an auto fail.
Okay. Let's just do it.
All right. So,
Let's go. How bad can it be?
all right. I haven't even told you the full bonuses, but you're rolling. I love it.
Doesn't
I'm
matter.
doing it.
Doesn't
Friggin'
fucking
Prime
matter.
rolls an 18.
So, you send in the Guardian Scouts, which is led by Scout and those guys, Tracker and stuff like that. And yeah, they send you a communication. They basically send you a pre-op communication through a scroll of sending, which is Sentinel Prime. We're about to engage the mission. We have Zefena in our sights. We believe we know where the grand stretch is being kept. We'll report back. If you don't hear from us, I'm afraid the mission went very badly. And then there's a few hours of silence where you don't hear anything else. And then you get a very hasty, very out of breath or kind of panicked scout who's just well, we did it. We've got the grand strategist out. We think we've escaped a detection net. We're not making our way to the extraction point where the Stormchasers is going to meet us. We'll take us a few days, but we'll bring him back as soon as we can. And then that kind of cuts out. And yeah, so by the time after you complete this Titans thing, the grand strategist will be back in Horizon and will be considered an ally.
Cool.
Hell
Incredible.
yeah.
Good
Is
call.
the Stormchaser a unit as well? Or is it just a transport in this sense?
It's your transport. So it probably wouldn't have been the Stormchaser that went to pick up Scout. Actually, it would have been another airship that they're using. Okay. The Stormchaser is your transport, so it's never used as a war asset because it assumes that you guys are using it to do all this other stuff that you're doing, basically. So, it's
Okay.
the Stormchaser is taking Ayla to meet the elves, and then it took you to go and meet the Messenger Guild, and then it took so and so and so and so forth. It's like Aerois is like ferrying you guys all over the fucking place. And then when it's not ferrying people places, Azaria, Perel, and Thalia are basically converting it into a fucking astral warship. They're fucking putting the work on it.
That was an incredibly successful round, by the way.
That was very successful. So the general rule is like,
my God.
if you fail the check, it's degrees. So it's like, oh, you failed it by like 1 or 3. Something bad probably is going to happen, but it's not the worst. If you fail it by like more than 5, it's pretty fucking bad. And if it's a natural 1, it's really fucking bad. Like, it's the kind of the degree I gave it.
Doesn't matter.
And yeah, you guys
Not
fucking
gonna see
smashed it. You guys just rolled super well, even without big bonuses.
Very cool.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
Up next,
So yeah, and this was all taking place like while you guys were doing other stuff, and like some of it's still going to happen eventually, but this has all kind of been going over. And this is what Danica's like been briefing you on. So like she brought you back to kind of go over the results of all of this stuff. She's informing you that the Messenger Guild have agreed, go and congratulate them. Yes, the Wild Elves, we've just, we've had their Wild Elf commandos come in. Rain's putting them to work as is. She's kind of briefing you all of that. And then eventually, Valor and Maximilian. Maximilian looks like one thing you would have noticed is over the 2 months, Maximilian has started properly looking after himself. He does eat, he does train. He won't leave Valor's side. He doesn't go anywhere else. But over 2 months, Danica has become more comfortable with the idea, and she has allowed them to kind of wander around. Like, they have a guard with them at all times. Like, they have like 4 guards with them, but they do have a bit more freedom to move around. She's beginning to trust Valor a little bit more. And Maximilian is like, taking care of himself, but he's still very wary. Quite a few times he's probably come to your suite where him and Valor are staying, and you've heard him loudly complaining about how the city is poorly managed. He complains that there is crime. He's just like, I saw a pickpocket and they escaped, and he's like flabbergasted that this is a thing that can happen. He is, he thinks that Danica is a really weak leader. He's just like, she should have killed me.
Oh my God.
He's like, but he's also just, it's like he's falling back into, himself. He's just highly critical of things that aren't the Valkyrian Empire. He's just very judgmental. He's just like, crime? Gross.
Sorry, do we have any giant demons running casinos around here, Max?
That was not in Gideon. That was not in Gideon Prime, Kilakad Kalar. I understand. The demons do have.
You got wrecked.
I have a problem with the demons, but Gideon Prime is far beyond this need. There is no crime. There is no poverty. I saw beggars with addictions to drugs. Disgusting.
I mean, they have none of that in Gideon Prime?
Of course not. No. If somebody needs something, they are given it. They have housing, they have jobs, they have food.
Hey, how long
Things
until
like
the
drugs
ship's
are
done?
stamped out as a sin. It's evil.
How long till we can go out to the Astral Sea? I'm into it. I'm not saying any of this.
But yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, so Max is with, but Valor kind of comes in with Max. This is, you guys have just got back from that mission where you fended off the Eladrin. Valor comes in, and you can see that Valor, again, over these 2 months, she doesn't seem to have gotten any older again, which you've noticed before when she got close to Siaska. She seemed to become more of like a young adult. But she's so regal. Like, the way that she moves, the way that she stands, there's just it's like an aura around her, which is just magical. Like her hair seems to just like kind of gently float around her. You've kind of seen it, but yeah, she's coming into this power that you can see. And in fact, I don't even think she walks into the room. I think that there is basically, you see like a line appear in space, like a purple kind of shimmering line,
God.
and then she parts it, and her and Max step through. And you see Max kind of like, that happens too often, and he doesn't like it. And she's just like, you're all back. Marvelous. How was the mission? Is everyone all right?
Everyone's okay. Yes, everyone is totally fine. All civilians rescued. So great, and we had to fight a load of trees. They bashed me a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that their bark was worse than their bite. And she kind of looks at you like, I made a joke. She raised her eyebrows at Quill like,
We set some on fire.
Oh, well, that would probably be very effective against tree creatures, I imagine.
Awful, really.
Yeah, Max probably is just like... Max folds his arms, is like, we had a few rebellions around the Fey realms. Putting their tree warriors to flame is an easy way to disturb their morale.
We also had some intelligence regarding the Valkyrian Empire and their next step.
Max turns sour when you say that, and he just steps away. And Valor just looks back and says, I'm sure Commander Rain will be very delighted to hear that. Not really my area of expertise, but I do have some... Well, I wouldn't say it's good news. I mean, it's ultimately going to be an incredibly dangerous thing, but I think I found one of the Titans. I think I've managed to translocate them. Now, I know you wanted me to try and find a Telecus, but he's proving the hardest to find. But I think I found Zephyr. There's a disturbance. There have been lots of reports, and I tracked some of the magic, and it really has the strong aura of Zephyr out in the sea. I think I can open a portal to it now. We'll need to head down there. We'll need to have a ship, a vessel. Knowing Zephyr, her realm will be oceanic. We'll want something that we can stay on. I don't recommend we take the Stormchaser. It might be better if we find a more sea-bearing vessel.
Great job, Vala. Well done. I know that took a great deal of effort.
I mean, effort not so much. Lots of very boring meditations, mainly.
That sounds like effort to
hone
me.
in on singles. It's weird. Doing nothing is surprisingly hard work. Yes, it's tricky, but I think I've found Zephyr, and the energy I'm sensing is chaotic and violent. I think that you should expect a battle once you arrive. Zephyr has always been tempestuous, reckless even. I think that the idea of a battle against Callus, the idea of giving up her divinity, I think it's broken her. I think she's seeking death. I think she wants to go out in a blaze of glory, but in our own terms. I don't even know if I can make sense of it.
Right. We'll expect the worst then.
I would do so, yes. She looks at Ayla. I expect thunder and lightning as well. Luckily, I think Ayla is quite equipped to deal with that.
My favorite.
Don't doubt. Zephyr is powerful. She's one of the stronger Titans. To face her head on, she's weakened, but it will be a difficult battle. And remember that it's her realm. She'll be able to control everything that isn't the ship and yourselves. I think I can open up a passage wide enough for a ship. We may want to consider who exactly we take as a crew. But yes, I would make preparations to locate that sort of thing. But yes, remember that she has full control of the realm. The oceans, creatures that may be living there, herself, the weather, all of this will be tools at her disposal.
And how will this affect you, Vala, opening a portal this big for a ship? Sounds like a lot of power.
It is. I think I'm up to the challenge now. I've been training, I've been practicing. I managed opening rifts between space, and this is perhaps something that Nova, I think you and Tiangong understand quite well. It is not actually that complicated. It requires an amount of power, but actually doing so I find quite simple now. The difference here will be the scale, and also piercing Zephyr's defenses itself. Now, the difficulty will be I need to come with you, and I will need to keep that. I will need to basically get us a way out. Once you've defeated Zephyr, before the space collapses, I'll need to give us an escape route. So I will need to come with you, and Max has assured me he will not leave my side. So I don't think you need to worry about protecting me. I'll create a shield to protect myself, but I will need to be there with you. And I'm not sure if I can do much to help you once we're inside.
Okay. So, assemble a crew, find a ship, head straight into Zephyr's lands, and take down a god. Right, a god, a titan.
Technically a titan, but yes, certainly a
titan.
very powerful foe.
With godlike powers.
Yes. Well, let me know when you're ready.
Never.
Right.
Don't think I'll ever be ready.
Sooner the better, though, Quill.
Yeah. I'll be ready.
Perhaps you can inquire with Miss Aerois. I know that she used to be a sailor. Perhaps she may know somebody who can give us a ship or provide us with passage.
Sure.
But until then, just come and gather me. Fetch me when you're ready to go. And she just nods. Okay. She's like, Max, let's go get something to eat. I think that we've both earned a bit of a rest. He just kind of, very well, my lady. And he just follows behind her. And she raises her hand. He's like, please, Lady Valor, we can walk to the kitchen. We do not need to teleport. And she looks back. She's like, oh, fine. And then the two of them kind of make their way out of the room. Also, it's been so long that we've streamed, I forgot we're supposed to end at 8.
Yeah,
So
we are supposed to end at a certain point.
I was wondering if you were just going.
I didn't realise. I was just like, I'm having fun.
My stomach
That's
is
like-
rumbling.
Stomach.
I forgot. I was like, we finish at 9. I was like, we finish at 9. That's when we finish.
No.
I'll die.
All right.
Well, there
Yeah.
you go. Bumper
In that case,
episode.
We're going to head off. Kate and Kim, if you do want to shoot off, because obviously I've kept you a long time and you've got dinners and stuff while Tommy reads stuff.
I'll stick for dinner.
Awesome. I will do a big speed
I was
run.
having fun. I was having fun with my friends.
Yeah.
It's a lot. No,
It's
it's
good time.
yeah, it's good to be. It's like so. It's been so exciting hearing what everyone wanted to do, and like
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
just
not even
catching up
all
on
of
what
it
the
as well.
world.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
When you
Like,
said
save
when you
some.
said Sentry has a lot of things to do, I looked at the time. I was like, it's 8 o'clock. Go Sentry, with all of these things you want to do. Yeah.
Love
All
it.
the time.
But yeah, that was cool. I really love the what
Domain
is it called? Sorry.
systems.
Domains from Kingdoms and Warfare by MCDM. So again,
So
I've
cool.
butchered the system. I've done my own spin on it, but a lot of the stuff, like the skills, the defenses, all of that, straight out of Kingdoms and Warfare. Very, very cool. If you want, and also it's got some of the coolest fucking monsters I've seen in ages in that book. Highly recommend.
Cool.
Well, there you go.
Go, Tom.
Anyway, I'm going to read some
Go.
donations. Here we go. We got a donation from Tree, and they say, bruh, 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 bruh. We got a donation from NRM2000 $20 dues, and they say, hey guys, I fell behind on Azagrat and have been trying to catch up ever since. After a year, I'm finally caught up and able to watch live again. Welcome. Thanks to having weekends off now at the retirement home I work at. Clear Skies from Virginia. Thank you very much. And in Wonderland with a quarter hundo, they're back. I don't know if it was meant to be like that. I can't wait to see what the story and Mark brings us next. Summer Aladrin has donated with, you won't get a single penny from me. Here's my wallet. Dreaming Drama has donated with, I've been in VOD Squad forever, finally caught up, but work is keeping me from watching
you're
live.
welcome.
I just want to say you guys have inspired me to create my own campaign, and all of you are amazing. TY for the wonderful stories. Thank you very much. Varys has donated with no message as usual. Thank you very much. Crispy has donated a half hundo. And they
Crispy.
say,
Wowzers.
Oh, boy.
Thank you.
big crispers. You've been sorely missed. Welcome back.
Thank
Awesome
you.
new addition to the game with the domain stuff. Congrats to Saramana,
Yeah.
who has
Cool.
made so much progress since leaving the hospital despite all the setbacks. And wishing a very happy birthday to Pumpkin. Pumpkin's
Hey.
birthday.
It's Pumpkin. I was going to mention it, actually, yeah. Happy birthday,
birthday.
Pumpkin.
Happy birthday.
And also, congrats to Saramana as well.
Congrats.
Yeah. Good to know.
congrats.
Chaotic Chroma has donated with, hey, high rollers, rather random, but I just dyed my hair rainbow yesterday and it gives me major arcane chromat vibes. There you go.
Yeah.
You can cast all those spells now. Yo-Yo Daddy has donated with VOD Squad since episode 1 of Lightfall, finally live now that we're on Hall's Wi-Fi. Got me through GCSEs and A-levels. So if you could do another 3 years, that'd be great. We'll try.
All right.
It's
No,
all
I mean,
for
I'd
you,
certainly
Yo-Yo
like
Daddy. Fail has donated with coming back with a bang. I absolutely love it. There was that was super cool. All the shiny new stuff looks amazing. The war mechanics are such an interesting way to move the story forwards. Also, Titan domain coming up. Extremely exciting. Good luck.
That's
Thank you very
right.
much. And Yo-Yo Daddy again. How has it taken this long to realize what Gideon Prime is a reference to? Holy shit!
What is
there
it
was
a
also
reference to? I don't know. It's a
You
reference
tell
to
me.
what they mean.
There was also, when you were saying there was no drugs and no crime, I saw a message in the chat that just said Gideon Prime looks fucking boring.
I mean, that is, authoritarian government. It's like no fun allowed.
Equilibrium.
You know, freedoms, get out of here.
Flaz has donated with, please give a happy high rollers shout out to Jim. He is your biggest fan and the reason I'm watching now. Hi, Jim.
Happy high rollers, Jim.
Hello, Jim.
Happy high rollers, Jim.
Hello.
And TYVM.
Thanks, Kim.
We also had
Grumpy
some
Kim.
we had some bits from MK13 Wolf again. And they say, when I joked about Trot's combat skills during the quick Q&A, it backfired. So, different joke. I was in Spain not too long ago, and I was staying at this lovely hotel in the middle of nowhere. I got a heart attack, and I was luckily saved by a doctor who worked at the hotel. When I realized from hospital, I went back to thank her. Thank you for saving my life. I am quite surprised a doctor works at this place in the middle of nowhere. She responded, nobody expects the Spanish in physician. And Yogdonos, we had one from Ace of Thorns.
Fucking awful. Nope. That was terrible.
That was really bad. I was reading it and I was just waiting.
Ace of Thorns donated. We've got to work on those hero landings, folks. But great work this evening, and it's great to have you all back. P.S. We need Angus. And that is...
We all need Angus. We all need Angus.
He's not here. He's in the other room now.
He's
buggered
fucked off now.
He's snoozing.
There you go.
He's a snoozy boy.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. That is the stream.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'm sorry sorry I went for like another 30 minutes, but I just
I'll be honest,
completely...
Mark, I'm
It's
still
been so
thinking
long,
about
I was
that
just like,
MK13 joke. I'm still
Yeah,
thinking about
that's
that
fair.
Spanish Inquisition joke.
Yeah.
So that's going to be
That's
haunting
fair.
me for the rest of my days.
Good stuff. Welcome back. We're back. We'll be back next week.
Yeah.
It's
Welcome
great.
back.
I'm playing D&D
Bye.
with my friends. I love it. Goodbye. We love you. Bye. Check out D&D Beyond
Love
in the
you,
link.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Love you.
Bye.
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 Everybody.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
good
Bye.
week.
Bye.
Love you, bye. Love you, bye.